What's up, everybody? You're in tune to the third episode of the New Thinkers podcast. We were brought by Sweetwater. Sweetwater is an online music store that sells anything from interfaces, microphones, software such as Logic, Pro Tools, Fruity Loops, and etc. Everything that we are using right now is from Sweetwater still, and it's going to remain like that. So thanks, Sweetwater. If you want to get in contact with anybody at Sweetwater, Israel Foster is the man to do so. He's excellent at customer service, and he'll supply you with anything you might need. So, thanks, Israel.
Shout out to Sweetwater.
Sweetwater, man. So lucky enough, man, I ventured to LA. I'm visiting my friend Mikey, and we have a guest today, man. Guy.
Hello.
Dude.
Hi, guys.
Guy, my man.
This is actually my first podcast.
The first podcast. Dude, I'm excited for that, man.
The V card.
That's very good, man. Dude, so I want to get to know you a little bit more. I didn't mean to do it on the podcast, so it doesn't seem as genuine. But dude, you seem like a very interesting guy. So
Guy,
no pun intended. But dude, yeah, tell us you were telling us a funny story about what happened today first.
Crazy day. Firstly, are we allowed to curse on this?
Of course.
Okay, perfect. It's my kind of podcast, right?
Dude, everything goes.
Yeah, what happened today? Firstly, I woke up at 1 p.m. and I was like, wow, this is pretty late for me. Okay, well, I'm going to take care of a few things.
Spring break.
So, yesterday, I went to a burrito place and I walked 2 miles to get a burrito. And it was so bad. The burrito is really bad. And I had a leftover burrito, which, of course, was my breakfast today.
Nice.
So, waking up at 1 p.m., had another bad burrito. I was like, okay, this day is getting to a rocky start. Whatever. So I do music, right? So
yeah.
I'm without a keyboard stand right now. So I'm like, I have to go to Guitar Center to get a keyboard stand. And I don't have a car, which in LA, of course, is a very big problem. So how I travel around is I cycle everywhere. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to cycle to Guitar Center, which is a couple miles in Century City. And so I went outside to go approach my bike, and to my amazement, the bike wasn't there. To where I've been leaving it for a month. No problems, it was not there. And obviously, I was panicking at this point, oh no. Because you always hear about bikes getting stolen and stuff, but you never
in
think
LA,
it
it's
happens.
really popular.
Exactly. And I inspected the scene. And you know what the funny thing is, I was on the phone to my friend from England, and he was like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, oh wait, no, I gotta call you back. Because I saw them lock my
friend from England is now depressed.
Yeah, he was like, oh, what's going on? Keep me updated. Well, I was like, okay. So I went to the spot, and I saw my bike padlock completely shattered on the floor. So inevitably you're gonna think someone's stolen it, right? And where I leave my bike, it's on a rail that's attached to an apartment block. So, but it's no way in the way of anything, right? So I'm thinking it's completely safe there, and it's completely secluded. So when I saw the bike padlock, I was just in a panic, looking everywhere, where could it have gone? But in the back of my mind, always knowing
it's gone. Yeah, it's gone, man.
I'm not gonna see it back.
This is LA.
Yeah, of course. But as I was snooping around everywhere, I saw inside the parking garage of the apartment that my bike was there, which was great. It was kind of bittersweet because obviously my bike's there, but I can't access it. So it's what's going on right now? Who's doing this?
Who's ruining my life?
I rang every apartment door number, and there was only one guy out of 10 people who answered. And he was really nonchalant and really relaxed, hello? He was expecting me,
I've been waiting. I've been pacing in my apartment.
Probably last week and just waited for it to come back. But
hello, Clarice.
Someone's broken my padlock from the apartment rail. My bike's not there, but it seems to be in the parking garage. Do you know anything about it, or could you let me into the parking garage so I can get my bike? And to my amazement, so confidently he paused, right? He was on American Idol.
About to tear you up. Simon Cowell.
At the end when they introduced the winner, they took a pause or something, right?
Yeah.
So he took a pause, and I was like, "What's going on here? A bit tense." You know? And he was like, "Yes, it was me." Like, so confident, so arrogantly, like, yes.
A slither, like.
Yeah,
I did it.
yeah, and he's like so proud.
Now what?
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like he was in court or something. Like, okay, I put the screw in the tuna, you know. Like,
What are you gonna do about it, Judge?
exactly, like, man, and I was like, I didn't know how to react to that because
Yeah.
coming from England, you don't get that. Okay, you get confrontational people, but like as the British culture, everyone's quite introverted and like less
Sure.
confrontational and stuff. So
Not confident about their.
yeah, but like not for something like this. Like people will definitely like. I have no problem like confronting someone with a problem, but to be that like straightforward to a stranger that you completely like disrespected his property and just, confidence.
He's
Completely disrespected.
He snapped your lock. Went out of his way to snap your lock. He probably had to get a special tool to snap it. Put it in his garage and was pacing in and out of his apartment because.
Matt, Dave, this is the beautiful thing about it. There's so much crazier than this, like the effort he went to. So he was like, "Yes, it was me."
Oh my god.
Like, yes, it was me. I was like, okay, why did you? I had so many questions in my head, right? Like, I was like, what?
Why are you such a piece
Why?
of shit?
Yeah, like, why me? God, what?
Why?
And I was like, well, can I just get my bike? And he goes, sure, I'll be down in a couple minutes, right? Me, like, I'm thinking, you know, he's, you know, preparing some kind of weaponry or like, it's gonna be like, you know, I don't know what's going on, you know, this is America.
Let me just get my bat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll be down in a few minutes. Like, probably putting underwear on or something. And like, so he came down.
I just woke up.
Yeah, exactly. Like cheese or whatever.
Oh, dude.
And so he finally came downstairs, and he goes, and he had this like remote control like opener, right? And
Oh
he
man.
just pressed it. He didn't even say anything. He just pressed it. Like, go ahead.
Take the bike I stole from you.
Like, what? And I was like, wait, fuck this, man. Like, yo, what the fuck's your problem, man? Why did you fucking do this? Because I always leave my bike there, right?
Yeah.
And it was there for a month. Like, I'd get it, I'd return it back to that place, get it again. Like, every day I'd use my bike.
Yeah.
So he could have, like, left a note saying, look, don't leave your bike here, otherwise, you know, I'm gonna...
And there goes.
But
That's
instead
it.
he's
And
a
that's
con-
it.
He's a
That's it.
confident
But
aggressor.
he wanted to take it to this next level, where it's like,
He
I
wanted
don't.
competition.
What is this trend that we have with people going out of their way to like harm people's like fucking day
Because they're having a bad day.
Yeah.
all the time?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
And we're not all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, what the crazy thing was is that he didn't even break the lock himself. He hired an external guy.
Oh my god. He's a sick fuck.
To break it. But the craziest thing about this was that like he had to pay $50 for that procedure, right?
This guy went hard, dude.
Like, and you think like, oh, maybe you parked your bike in a place where it was diverting from the cars or like it was
Yeah.
an intrusion, but
Yeah.
it was completely out of the way, like on the grass, like the person had no business just be like, you know what, he must have just had a shitty day and be like, you know,
It's
I'm
like, fuck
gonna
this bike, man.
real quick.
The first thing he saw, and he saw
He's
red.
been waiting for the day to
Yeah.
fuck your bike up. He's been thinking the whole month, when am I fucking with this
He's
guy's
plotting
bike?
it.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee
He saved $50 for the day. He's like,
if
you know
go
what?
to his
This
apartment,
Tuesday.
he has like the bike pictures all over the wall. He has like blueprints of everything, like the mechanics of the bike, all different lock system mechanisms.
Who's the
Fuck,
owner?
man.
Question mark.
Like he had a lot of time, maybe just like, you know, it's very predetermined.
Oh,
The
my-
usual suspects.
Yeah.
schematics of every bike,
Exactly.
and then he was like, "This is it."
This is my time to shine.
Oh my! He probably puts on a
surprise me,
costume at
though.
night.
He seems
doesn't
like the
surprise me.
kind of guy or the kind of kid who'd grow up to like burn amps with like
yeah,
right? It, like,
exactly.
Yeah. So he was just like very nonchalant about it, like, you know, go get your bike. And I was like, okay. So as I went to go get my bike, the first time I went to go get it, the garages, they automatically closed.
Mm.
So at first he wasn't there, and I was like halfway between getting my bike, and I saw the garage door closing, and like in an Indiana kind of Jones kind of way, I was like, oh shit, before it closes, because I don't want myself getting trapped in there.
Oh,
so
no.
kind of like just about got back out. I was like, what the fuck happened there? And he was like, oh yeah, sorry. He's like, you know, he's playing
Like
games
an
at this
asshole,
point,
dude.
right? I'm like, yo, just open the door.
Hide your children from that
Yeah,
guy.
for sure.
Hide your children from that guy.
And he was like a big fella, right? And
Yeah.
I was like, yo, could you keep the door open so I don't get locked in? And that's the least you could do, right? You know?
Dude, yeah.
And he was like, okay. So I got my bike. And then I got my bike.
Okay,
Yes.
I stink.
Yeah.
I haven't showered in a
Yeah.
week.
And I was like, as I got my bike and I was leaving, I goes, you're a piece of shit. Like, there's so many,
Yeah.
like, ethical
Ways you could have avoided
Yeah,
a confrontation with a
Wow.
random
But
stranger.
like, you know,
But instead, he wanted a
I don't
confrontation with
think-
a random stranger.
At that point, I was like, I'm just glad I got my bike. I can't be dealing with this shit. I have a keyboard stand to go get.
Oh, dude, seriously.
So I was like, that kind of like sketched me out a little bit. But I guess I learned my lesson not to park in that secluded grass area.
You really fucked up. You really fucked up,
Yeah.
guy.
And it's like shit. But so now I had to go get a bike lock because if I was going to the guitar center, like I have to secure my bike. So I went to a bike store nearby and I got like a normal bike lock for like $20, and it's one of those corded ones. You know those like it's kind of string based.
And you like interweave it with the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the bike lock and I thought I weaved it with my bike handlebar, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. On the way to like Guitar Center now.
We're golden. We're ready to go.
we're ready.
Yeah.
Like,
Now,
back on track. Like,
all
now
the
it's
good.
just like a normal
Now
day,
only
right?
good can happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. So going on the way to Central City is very uphill. So it took me a while to get up the hill. Sometimes I'd pedal, I'd stop.
Yeah.
Like almost have an asthma attack, and like the struggle was real getting up that hill. So eventually I got up that hill and I looked down and the lock wasn't there. And of
Oh my
course,
God.
it fell off. And I'm like, man, really, like, is this really happening right now? So I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to go back for it. But luckily, I kind of knew that no one would optimistically pick up and steal a bike lock.
Yeah.
Most people like cross that and be like, oh, bike lock, oh fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like
exactly.
it's like $10.
They probably don't even see it.
Yeah,
They-
exactly.
In LA, they're thinking at 1,000 miles per hour.
Exactly right. So I went all the way back like a couple miles, found the padlock, and I went all the way back to Guitar Center. And I did the same thing. I tried to lock my bike with like a bus stop, and I thought it was locked. And then I went into Guitar Center, I got my keyboard stand, came out. And luckily, the bike was still there, but I didn't actually lock it around the bus stop.
Oh, fuck,
So that could
man.
have ended so badly. That could have ended in my bike actually getting stolen.
Oh,
right?
man.
So the lesson,
So
the lesson
yeah,
is karma bites.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
when it's coming, but
Yeah.
something happens.
My bike obviously had a bad past. It was a very bad bike. And now,
You did get it on Craigslist.
Obviously. Oh, shit,
and then
man.
of course I had to like somehow handle the keyboard stand and bike all the way back. So,
You don't know who the previous owner of that bike was.
True. I think it might have been involved in some kind of drive-by.
Oh, man.
Some kind of pedal-based drive-by. So yeah, that was my day so
Yeah.
far.
Dude, yeah, speaking of like keyboards and stuff, how long have you been doing this music?
I've been doing it since I was 13, so it's been
Fuck,
like 11
man.
years now.
So you're
Yeah.
deep. You're deep
Yeah,
into it,
way
man. Like, what made you, what was the driving force to coming out here to LA?
Yeah, so
What part of England are you from?
it's a town called Luton Town, which is
Okay.
like just on the outskirts of London.
Oh, okay.
So I was born in Greenwich in London, and then I was raised in Luton. And so I've just always been really interested in music and the production side of things.
Nice, dude.
So always been making music, and I've always been trying to pursue it as a career. And cut a long story short, I was signed to a publishing label by BMG Chrysalis, and then that took me to Atlanta. So I was actually in Atlanta.
Wow.
Not last year, the year before that. I was there for a year.
Man.
And
Is that heavier than LA? Like traffic wise and people like
Oh, yeah.
Atlanta? It's here, yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Shit,
yeah.
man.
So Atlanta was a great scene. I don't know if you have you.
I've
guys-
never been to Atlanta,
been.
but I've heard so many good
Yeah.
things from movies to movie business to music.
Right.
Atlanta is a spot. Like
Definitely, and it's definitely picking up, especially in the movie business. I know that they're filming.
It's cheaper to film there.
Right, and they're starting to film a lot more stuff there.
Nothing's really getting filmed here anymore, I'm realizing.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I moved out here.
You think it's too candid, like to film here?
Everything's too expensive.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So like, how much is it to like? We saw the other day. We're like, this was the diner. This was the diner that Triple X was shot in. Remember that?
Right. Yeah,
that was
awesome. I passed
awesome.
by a diner. If anyone's from LA listening to this, I'm sure you've seen this diner on Wilshire and I think Fairfax.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a diner there that's always like open for filming, and every time I see it, I'm like, damn, I'd love.
Dude,
to film.
isn't that funny how Triple X was filmed there though?
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene?
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. The diner scene.
Yeah.
It was filmed in that location.
That's awesome though, man.
I think, LA will always be a mecca, but at the same time, film is definitely growing all over the place, and it's cheaper to film elsewhere. All the companies are still here. They're still based out of LA, so no matter what.
They like the weather, dude. They don't want to move anywhere.
Yeah, they like the weather.
You don't want to move to New York, bro. Even though New York is awesome, dude, it's too heavy for a lot of people. It's cold and sucks.
Every time I'm in New York, the thing that really stands out about me in New York is it really wakes me up when I step outside.
Same here.
When you're in the city, when you're
being
in the hustle.
born there it's a weird feeling because like you're always attracted to the East Coast, things from the East Coast, people from the East Coast. When you're from the East Coast, it's like you've taken favor of people from there and stuff from there. It's weird.
You was born in New York.
Yeah, I was born in New York.
So you must be more. Okay, is it correct saying that you prefer a city lifestyle, like as opposed to? Because if you're like born around that area, because I feel like I'm
of course
like that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm more oriented with a city. A city, I could feel it breathe. I have the energy from everybody, and everybody's walking, everybody's going. Mm-hmm. But though I'm still hard to like get used to like the slow. It's kind of slower than the East Coast. The movement of things and people. It's more laid back, and I think I crave the hustle and bustle. I like going, and I like going fast, and I like taking action.
You love London.
What'd you say?
You would love London.
I would love London, dude.
London, and they say London and New York are like pretty much the same.
Yeah, dude. Because eventually I want to become a doctor. So like I was considering a medical school in London. Like, oh, dude, that would be a dream to go abroad.
Amazing.
Yeah, dude. Like, oh man, I would love London. I have yet to be there though. I've only been to Italy.
To New York,
dude.
Oh, exchange program. Hello.
Yeah.
I go to New York pretty often. I was there last year. Yeah, every time I walk outside when I'm in like the city in the hustle bustle, I see these heads, man, just
Everybody's
layers
moving.
of heads.
And if you're not moving as fast as anybody, like get out of the way. Yeah.
Everybody's, in business attire.
It almost makes you want to just like put on a suit, get a random briefcase, and just walk down the street.
Just walk and feel what it's like.
Yeah, just go somewhere. Yeah.
I love that though. Everyone's hustling.
Yeah, everybody's hustling. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
There's no slowing down.
I think it's because, the origin for all the immigrants that came into Ellis Island, and like that's what you had to do to survive. You had to hustle, and then
it's hard to get, it's hard to walk outside over there and not feel it.
Imagine that thought. Like some of my grandparents, they came here like just leaving everything from where they're at. Let's go take a chance in the United States, and it worked out. It worked out. They came from Italy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they just took that shot, and like most of them became successful, and I'm very proud of that. And I kind of want to like act like I'm going on a boat here. To like make it. That's how I want to like pursue my success.
That's kind of the only way you can make it when you're forcing that.
I don't know, dude, because I've been through a lot of up and downs though. Because with a lot of success there's so many downers. I just I want to make it. Whatever that is for me, whatever my vocation is, I want to make it, and I want to be there, and I want to make my family comfortable.
What is your definition of making it? I've always found that an interesting.
Everybody thinks like money is fueled by the making it. I think comfortability.
Yeah.
Comfortability, yeah. Like, because I've never been comfort. I've always been on edge. I've been through a lot of downs, like with my family and me, and like, so I want to be comfortable. I want to like little things I don't want to worry about. Little things.
I think that's interesting how everyone's got their own definition of success.
Yeah, like
and, some people is like money oriented. But I think the common factor in anyone's definition of being successful is being happy. And
Oh, yeah.
That's what we all strive for.
The thing about being successful on a daily basis is a lot different than being successful, in succeeding in your career or succeeding in a family or a home or in comfort. If you want to succeed daily, you need to be happy. Right. Because you can't influence anyone positively if you're not internally happy. And isn't that the success in a day? You don't feel successful when you got done off work. You felt successful when you made your coworker's day complimenting her dress, or she did the same thing with you. Oh, I really liked you. I love your shoes
just like
today,
to like a stranger,
That those are little moments that make your day.
Like good morning to a stranger, even though they don't say anything, it feels good on your part.
And you realize when you're going to bed at night, those are the moments you thought about. Those are the moments not the mundane work you got done that's going to give you your paycheck, that's going to make you successful. Quote, unquote.
No, I mean I don't think money is like something you should be worshiping as you're trying to gain success. I think it will come for sure, but I just don't think it's something you should worship.
I think now more than ever, happiness is the new money. Like this generation's idea of, success, they don't really go for the material anymore. They appreciate it and they want it just as much as any other generation.
Wait, you don't... Oh, are you talking about this?
I'm saying, our generation and what's coming after us, I think more and more.
It's not drive by materialism?
I think it's more drive by materialism.
I think so as well.
It's driven by materialism, but I think happiness is appreciated more now than ever. Before happiness was sacrifice, because
that's true.
There was no choice.
I agree with that. And that's why you're seeing
like your parents. My dad came into this country and had to sacrifice a lot. He did the same thing. Instead of New York,
they could have easily fell on their ass and just
they did many times. They got back up many times, and I'm sure they weren't happy. They did what they had to do in order to survive, A, and B, maybe one day be able to take care of their kids or family or household.
Oh yeah,
they had to sacrifice a lot of fun. Let's put it that way. Our generation, the next generation,
we have fun.
Our money's getting spent on fun.
But it
on experiences, on traveling.
When people go out and stuff, are they really having fun? Or are they there just to take a picture and then post it on the internet to act like they are having fun? Are they actually?
Depending on your age, because I think a lot of people
depending on your maturity.
Yeah, right. Because then you realize that's a very empty...
Yeah, that's an empty... that's not happiness. That's you pretending to be happy.
Yeah.
So it's just you posting a bunch of pictures of fake happiness?
Yes. A lot of people do that, don't they? Like paint a
it's hard. It's hard for them to accept that they're... The first step of... this is getting deep.
Go deep. Go deep. Hold on. Before we do anything, make sure our mics are still on, right? Like they're not clicked off. There's a on and off button.
Oh no.
That's okay. It was recording anyways.
It was definitely.
Yeah, no, you could definitely hear everything.
Okay.
This is a good mic, but yeah.
1, 2. Okay, cool.
We're back on. Mikey, go deep, bro.
Okay, where were we?
I don't know. I forgot.
Okay, the first step of acknowledging how to get rid of your depression is acknowledging that you are depressed.
Okay.
And that's the hardest stage. Because when you acknowledge you're depressed, you're acknowledging the fact that you're unhappy with yourself. And nobody wants to be unhappy with themselves.
I think people need to distinguish what depression is, though.
Not happy.
Or, how people, constantly say, oh, I have anxiety. Maybe you just... that's a natural emotion a human gets, is to be anxious sometimes. That doesn't mean you're a chronic, you have anxiety all the time.
Stress is very natural, and stress is what you need in order to grow. It's like what the rabbi said about the lobster in its shell.
Yeah.
Lobsters, they grow within their shells, and they feel really, tense and stressed out and all that stuff, but then they break out of the shell and form a new one. That's kind of like a metaphor for what we have to go through in stress in life. It hurts. And
it hurts. Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
It's really uncomfortable to go through stress.
Our bodies hate change and stress, so it's easy to just do this all day, just lay on the couch,
The fear of the unknown, the fear of the future.
Yeah, no, but God, that's you taking a leap to it's awesome, trying to view that through your perspective. You taking a leap to come to America, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, I think similar to your guys' parents as well. My dad came from India to England, and, to make a life and made a success out of it. So, being a product of that hustle, it never deterred me, or it never allowed me to not pursue something of that extreme, you know, to go to another country and try and make a career out of it and do what you got to do. And I think you guys would do the same, wouldn't you? Because obviously seeing your parents already go through it and do it, like, it gives you the confidence and knowing that, okay, you know, it's attainable, it's achievable, it's cool. So yeah, no, I definitely give props to my dad for installing that in me, you know. So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like, you have to take the leap, because it's the stuff you don't do that
they
you
pretty much taught us the courage.
We were just just talking about how a lot of people that are in our age group, they're afraid to take that leap off the cliff. Like, and they think that nobody's down there to catch them sometimes, and that's just a metaphor, you know. Like, they're afraid to take that leap, and that leap is really where it's at.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a really great quote. I forgot who it's by, and I wish I.
It's okay. In the internet, internet, you can say it's by anybody. Bob Marley. Bob Marley said this.
So this isn't it word for word, but I think it speaks volumes. Or it spoke volumes to me, and it says, my child." What does it say? My child, like, the skies are full of, like, hope and some shit like that. And you ask, what if I fall? But what if you fly? And that's basically the premise of it. It's like,
that's
what
amazing.
If you fall, what if you fly? I mean, obviously that wasn't it word for word.
But no, that's amazing. But
it's like, what that says to me is, like, we're so focused on the negatives of taking that leap and taking that we completely disclude, like, what are the advantages and what are the possibilities if you fly. You know?
It takes a lot of belief in yourself to believe that you can fly.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. Because in
and that's kind of going full circle, actually.
In culture and society, we're kind of exposed to more failure than we are, like,
for
success,
sure.
and it kind of it daunts on people, and
that goes in a full circle with self-love.
Right.
You know, if you don't have the strength to, let's say, take care of yourself, you won't have the strength to push yourself.
Exactly.
You know, you're not going to go jumping into the water unknowing if you can swim or not if you're too afraid to swim.
Yeah.
You know, but you need to find the courage. And try it anyway. And that's how we all learned how to swim. You know, I learned how to swim because my dad threw me into the fucking pool. That's how I learned how to swim.
And just quickly touching on that, I think there's not enough importance based on courage in our society. We're so obviously, like, confidence. Sure. Everyone needs confidence, of course. But like,
it's almost like they don't want us to have.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the New Thinkers podcast.
9/11 was a hoax.
9/11 was George Bush. Osama bin Laden's alive.
Who said that?
Why isn't there a picture of his body? If Osama bin Laden's
there
dead,
is. It was a half-assed picture.
Take a picture of him before throwing him into the water. Where's the picture? Oh, we threw him into the ocean already.
Yeah, fuck it.
He's somewhere down.
This day and age, I would have been on Snapchat right away.
How bizarre is that, man?
Under the sea.
The thought that it could be a possibility, which
Hussein
it could be.
was hung live.
I know, that was awesome.
You can't argue that.
Did you watch that shit?
You can't argue that.
They were wearing masks and shit, like they were in a dungeon, and they were just like. It was Bin Laden? No, it wasn't Bin Laden.
So
it was
Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, Hussein
was hung live
when he was hung live.
Oh yeah. I actually think I saw that. Like, I think that was one of the.
It was like
streamers.
It was like
sorry, we're old kids.
Yeah,
youngsters.
It was like the two top videos.
A cave or some shit.
Yeah,
you guys remember
it was in a barn.
video?
It was in a barn.
What is that?
It was in a barn.
Sketchiest place for a
It's like the government was like,
everybody had like these fucking masks on where they personally cut themselves. Like, it was so bad, dude.
Wow, they took it all the way back.
They went hard.
It was, you know what, let's make a scene for this.
And then what they do with Osama bin Laden's body?
I bet you that was fun, though.
Didn't even post
that
anything.
Was so fun.
An inkling of proof that he's dead. The only thing is a report that he was thrown into the water.
I don't care about that shit, dude. I'm so over conspiracies and everything like that. I don't even put the time in, dude. I just don't. Whatever, man. Like, that's awesome. Conspiracies, go get them. But I'm just not gonna do them.
Go get them.
I think if you look hard enough, there's a conspiracy in everything.
There's a conspiracy.
There's probably a conspiracy in this.
Yes,
this is all scripted.
Yeah.
This is.
What do you mean it's scripted?
I've been reading off a cue card this whole time.
Yeah, dude. There's a script under there, and like, glad we don't have video today.
Yeah,
because fuck, this is scripted as fuck. George Bush.
George Bush.
But man, that's fantastic.
Hillary Clinton for president.
Dude, if I will vote for her if they prove that she's a real person. If she's not a robot, I will vote for her.
Oh, the video of the robot.
If she's not a robot.
I showed Guy this.
Crazy video.
Did you see this?
What?
Video of the robot.
Of a learning robot?
The robot that's like a...
like a face. Yeah, you showed me it on Facebook.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was like... It was pretty
insane.
cool.
I wish I could explain this. I don't even know how to explain it. It was the closest thing that...
Japan is already...
Like the artificial intelligence you see in movies, it was the closest thing to that I've ever seen.
Japan's already making that a sex doll right now.
Oh, Japan's had... Yeah, dude. Japan... Didn't you tell me that like 40% of men in Japan just have made the switch?
Yeah, 40... Yeah. Apparently. I don't know what bullshit statistic is, but I think 40% of like Japanese men have completely given up on pussy. And they have entered the technology,
robotic age of sex.
The technology sex times. That's what they have been doing. So
it's long overdue for men to have something.
Fuck, man. Well, dudes will do anything to go get a girl, man. Like
I can't do that. That's so.
They'll
weird.
do anything to just one night.
That's so odd.
Night. Yeah.
That's so odd.
You wouldn't do it.
Robot.
You wouldn't do it, bro. Not even for money.
How do I know? One day it might be so normal,
Yeah, your next girlfriend might be a robot.
It might be that
She
normal.
cooks. She cleans.
Like the movie Her. You guys seen that?
I'm gonna piss off a lot of feminists. She cooks, she cleans, she doesn't yell.
That's it, Dave. That's it.
That's it, Dave. I'm gonna go dye my hair blue and then cut it short and then be offended at everything.
But that is like that they're designing robots to help people at first. So
I mean, that's cool, but
like older people with their groceries, things like that.
Like I just don't know how that's gonna work in the healthcare field. Being a doctor, there's so many.
I need a nurse. I am your nurse.
Yeah, you have to.
I just want to be loved.
I'm just trying to learn and become one of you.
They would replace a lot of nurses.
She did say some weird shit like that. You remember? She said, "I want to learn. I want to go to school."
No, she said, "I want to have kids."
She said, "I want to have a family." This is a robot getting interviewed.
What if they printed?
I want a family one day.
What if they 3D print a vagina and then like fallopian tubes and eggs, and they implemented it into a robot, and then
all right, this is getting crazy.
You have sex with it, and then it becomes robot kids. Because
that sounds absurd to me,
bro. Listen,
you can't but that's not life.
What's
what
life?
Is life?
What is love? What is life? I give you my heart.
They've made prosthetic hearts, man. I can't see why they wouldn't do prosthetic ovaries.
Oh my god. You can't have a half breed.
Who knows, man? Some scientists are just going at it right now because they're making prosthetic hearts.
Scientists are trying to go to Mars. Dude, you know you have to pollute the air on Mars to live on Mars, which means just to have the possibility we can't breathe in that atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
So just to have the possibility of maybe colonizing Mars, we have to already start polluting the air. So we already have to start fucking up that planet.
Yeah, I mean...
Didn't we learn from the first
we're
time?
Just gonna hop. We're gonna hop to each fucking galaxy. Nope. See you next one. Nope. See you next one. Damn. That's so bad, bro. Do you think we're supposed... I
gotta take a tinkle.
All right, go, man.
Restroom break.
With your weak bladder.
1, 2.
But no, dude, do you think we should be in space, man? Like, not for like any kind of religious reasons, like, because I know like Christians have a problem with going into space, but like,
do they?
They do, man. They think it's against God's wishes to stay on the earth. Okay. Well, so I'm like, do you think we're supposed to be out in space?
I don't know. I think the way that obviously Earth is degrading right now and how we're stripping it of all of its natural resources, eventually we're gonna have to go somewhere. Like
eventually,
I mean, we're not gonna have to go somewhere because luckily it won't happen in our lifetime.
We're dead. But what if we like prolong our life with technology and we're like, fuck, we're here for 500 more years?
Oh damn! Well, we might need to check out Mars.
Oh man, Mars is so terrible. It looks like Las Vegas.
I feel like it'd be the moon before Mars. Right?
You know who Joe Rogan is, right?
Yeah.
He once said that to aliens, Earth is the Tijuana of the galaxy.
Oh wow! It's Joe Rogan for you guys.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my god.
I mean, I just don't see it happening. I mean, if I was to tell you, like, if I was to tell you in the 20s, though, you're gonna have a device that holds pretty much all of human knowledge, like on one device, I'd be like, oh, fuck out of here. You know? So to say that, like, space, living out in space and living on a different planet, to me it sounds so foreign, but it definitely could happen.
They're going really hard. They don't want us to ever die. They want to, even if the universe starts dying,
personally,
they want to be able to.
Would you want to live forever though?
No.
Like,
no.
I think
it looks like that's where the human race is going.
I don't want to do that.
Where would the space be though? Like this.
We'd have to die.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna
we'd have to evolve into either robot form or the human genetics just get so good that we stay young forever.
Mikey, once we get into all these databases and everything, who's gonna run the databases? More machines, and then who's gonna fix those machines? Those like another set of machines, like. Well, it's going to end somehow.
Fix themselves.
Think about other planets for a second. Earth is relatively young compared to other planets in the universe. So let's just hypothetically speaking talk about evolution on another planet that's much older than Earth, and life has been there for a lot longer than Earth.
Yeah.
What kind of life is there? Is there eternal life there already? Probably. Is it kind of funky and we wouldn't be able to understand or comprehend it? Probably. So that's probably the direction it's going on. Earth isn't going anywhere.
But to hell.
Earth isn't going anywhere.
We're sitting on a nice core of molten lava.
Humans aren't going to travel through a wormhole anytime soon.
I wouldn't travel through a wormhole.
Go to a younger universe.
Why would you ever just go into a wormhole expecting the best?
That is optimism.
I know this might turn me into spaghetti, but YOLO
right now. Oh my god,
that's the YOLO generation.
That's straight optimism right there.
Yeah.
That's the YOLO generation.
We're gonna go through a fucking wormhole.
Let's do it.
Oh my god! Imagine that you go through the wormhole.
It pulls you like spaghetti. They say.
If you go through the wormhole and each one of your atoms separates.
Oh, every particle, every.
What
atom
if that happens?
Breaks up.
So you're either going from success to separating from atom to atom. Imagine the pain. The pain from that.
I think it happens so rapidly. You wouldn't even be able to register the pain. Like
your head is getting pulled like the strings of spaghetti.
Oh my god. Wow, that's vivid.
And then it becomes part of the whole. Like it becomes part of the wormhole. Oh my god! Get sucked like you're getting sucked into a vacuum. But we could always try it.
It might work.
Nice.
Maybe the robots that are here in the future will give it a try. They're infinitely living anyway. They have nothing to lose.
Dude, Einstein is rolling in his grave. What the fuck are they doing? My physics!
My physics! I told them at the end of my life to play with the physics!
So, apparently, the device he was talking about, the relativity that picks up these waves from when things happen in the universe. Okay, so apparently a few months ago, one of those registered, and it was a blast from, I don't know, it could be millions and millions of light years ago. So if he was alive today, he would have received any kind of Nobel Prize. So apparently they're not even going to honor that.
They're just like, he's dead. It's
dead.
Too
He's
old.
a dead guy.
It's too old.
Isn't that crazy though? How it
has he ever won?
He was obviously ahead of his time, wasn't he?
Oh, so, much.
Einstein was not only ahead of his time, but he was shunned by everybody who he worked for. So fucking
that guy hated school too.
That guy hated everything.
I feel like a lot of successful people were shunned by.
Was he Jewish?
Yeah, I think so. Part Jewish.
Yeah, I think a lot of success.
Fellow homie.
I think that's a part of success is being shot down constantly and then still having the capacity to drive through.
That's exactly it, man.
They know what's right. There was a movie I saw recently called Hail
I think that
Caesar.
happens to everybody, though. Everybody gets shunned on their life, but some of them stay down.
Yeah.
They don't.
And that's what separates.
Yeah.
That's what separates.
Because I don't think anybody's has this special kind of treatment right at birth, even though the situation could be better than another's, like somebody who lives in Papua New Guinea compared to a white kid in Los Angeles or something like that. But I don't think that somebody, you have a calling. you have a calling to do better. I think everybody has a similar calling, and then like it's just the way they approach it. I don't see it like an individual just getting a calling and like I could benefit. I'm the best. I'm omnipotent. I'm omniscient. I could do this all. So I mean, I think everybody has an equal shot. Mm-hmm. Maybe that could be disputed with people like I just said, like from Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, it's all about
you could be restricted.
What you were given in this life too. You know, some people are born without legs. Some people, you know what I mean. It's all relative, kind of. Too. Yeah. But yes, everybody's capable of anything.
Everybody's capable of anything, except for doing like 1,000 backflips in one jump. That doesn't happen.
Maybe Mayweather.
So based on that theory, would you say everyone on the planet have like an equal playing ground to success?
I think so, but like I said again, I'm kind of iffy about saying I think so because.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of people get stuck in their, their religion, their family. They're restricted. They're tied down. I mean,
people's minds are kind of in different wavelengths.
Yeah,
I don't think everyone has an equal playing field.
I don't think so either.
Because obviously you get privilege, and then
being
on the
successful,
other side
you have to be somewhat privileged.
Being successful is very different. It's very subjective. You know, so like a person in Papua New Guinea who's in a tribe,
he wants to be
getting
the
water for that day is their success. So I mean, I don't think it really has to like
that's a good point. That's a good point.
But that sucks though. That sucks. But
making the right choice when it's the difficult choice is I guess the topic. Because like I saw a movie, it was called Hail Caesar. It's a Coen brother movie, and they always have this. The Coen brothers always like putting God in their script somehow. God's testing the main character somehow. This main character was the runner of a big production company in Hollywood in the 1950s when it was actually really hard to do that because there was a lot of lying and you always had to make the stars look really good and perfect and the movies always had to be on time and just a really hard time to have this job. And it pretty much ended on a note with the main character going, I have this new job opportunity. It's nothing I really want to do, but it's a lot easier and it'll make me more money. And he's talking to a priest, and the priest is like, sometimes the right thing to do is the hard thing to do. The hard job might be the right job.
And the hand job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
But no, you're right though. Like it's true, isn't it? Sometimes the harder road is.
Nobody really wants to take it though. They know it deep down. Their heart's like, go there. It's correct. Yeah. And then your other side's like, but I'm lazy.
And that comes down to comfortability. That's what kills a lot of dreams, and it even kills people at the top as well because comfortability is what will make anyone slack and just like it'll make them.
It's always about moving your cheese. Who moved my cheese? There's a book about this. Yeah. You always have to be looking for what's next, what's new, or else you'll
can't
get
be complacent and comfortability.
You'll get stuck.
Well, like the fear of being rejected, the fear of being it's so with anything, women, jobs. The fear of rejecting is so daunting on somebody's head every day. Oh,
I remember my first job interview was anxiety filled.
Was it?
Yeah. I was getting a job interview for production manager, which is huge.
Oh, okay. So like a bigger job.
Yeah, a bigger job. It was usually, production assistant work. But production manager is just a lot more responsibility.
And you feel like you clicked with them, but at the end of the day, you're kind of like, it kind of seems
so weird doing a job interview. It's so weird.
They kind of have to be like
you don't know if you're supposed to be yourself or you're supposed to be the guy for the job.
Exactly.
You don't know because you want to be both. But it's hard to be both. You're either yourself or you're playing the guy for the job. Yeah. And it's hard. How do you know which one they'll vibe with more? Because there's bosses who want you to be you. There's bosses who like, who's the next personality I want around my office? And then there's also a boss who's just like, I just want this, a robot worker.
There's a boss and a leader. Two different things. But so how was that experience then?
The job interview.
Yeah, you said it was like...
I was being myself. I didn't get the job. No, I don't think I didn't get the job because I did anything wrong or anything like that. I think there were a lot of interviews. You know, it was a big production company, and it was a serious...
They probably filtered through a whole bunch of people. Yeah. Like, a lot of people have probably been doing it longer than you have. No offense, but that's how it is. The work environment. I never had been it's so prejudiced, man. It's very prejudiced.
I had no experience as a production manager, so it makes a lot of sense. But just getting the opportunity to possibly, take that first leap up the ladder was nice.
I think if anyone was themselves, them true selves at an interview, no one would ever be employed.
Oh,
shit. Have that certain professionalism,
Yeah.
that facade. You can't just be yourself in front of...
No way.
Like, if you introduce me to, someone that, I can't be myself completely yet. Like, I'll be myself.
Yeah, I'll be,
a little bit proper.
There's that certain kind of etiquette at first, and then you get confident, and then...
Also, you want to initially make a first impression that you would want back. It's like to treat others the way you want to be treated kind of thing. It's like, okay, I want to do this. I'll shake his hand. I'll be respectful. I'll make eye contact.
But I also want to make them laugh because, you want to make people laugh so they feel comfortable.
I made my interviewer laugh.
It's just the filter. That's all it is. I wouldn't say you want to be yourself. You just... You know what to put through that filter and not to, and then eventually the filter just gets obliterated.
It doesn't take long.
Have you ever
take long if you know me well.
Encountered somebody and hung out with them? You're like, oh, I'm starting to gauge who you are. I could probably crack a joke with you, and it completely goes south.
Not that I can recall. I'm sure it's happened.
I think I've done that recently.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I cracked a joke and they didn't seem to really take it well.
What was the joke?
I don't know. It was probably very offensive. I don't know. I thought we were cool. I thought we were all right, man. I know you for a little bit, and I could probably say something funny. Might be in your sense of humor. Just taking that leap, like we've been saying.
Yeah.
And
courage.
I said I said it. And
he jumped into the water.
Kind of just looked at me, and he's shook his head, and yeah. I was like, it was a joke. In my head, I was like, it's a joke.
See, when you have to say it was a joke.
Okay, I've done. The vibe. Or I was kidding. Just kidding.
It was a joke. Yeah, just.
Anytime you say "just kidding," it's the biggest lie in the world. You weren't just kidding. You were saying something that was supposed to be taken a different way.
You know what? Here it is. Sorry. No, I cut you off, man. I'm sorry. Keep going.
I was gonna say, have you ever had to explain a joke for more than
No, if I explain a joke for too long,
I don't think I have the energy.
I don't for too long. I'm all right, I can't be around you.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean? But they won't let it go. No, explain.
Yeah. Actually, that has happened.
Well, back in
it totally ruins the joke.
Yeah,
it ruins the humor.
This is what I said. This girl I really, really like.
Shitty joke, Dave.
I was. In order to get with a girl that you think is very pretty or is very you kind of have to go through social media, kind of. If you meet them somewhere else, that's not it. But eventually you guys will swap social medias, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I said to her on Facebook, I was making a joke, I was like, Happy Persian New Year. She's a Persian girl. Mm-hmm. And she goes, thank you, you too. I goes, but I'm not Persian. Mm-hmm. And I said that, and she says, ha, I didn't say you were. And then I go, oh damn, making assumptions like I'm Aladdin. And then she just didn't respond. She looked at it and I could tell she's like, was that offensive?
Are you calling me a lover of Aladdin?
I don't know.
At least you didn't have to explain it.
I was like,
listen, Aladdin is from a movie.
But we've had similar jokes like that. We make fun of each other's heritage.
But that's that. Banter, right? Yeah. If she was to do it to you, I guess it's how everyone perceives a joke like that.
Yeah.
And I think especially in today's society, racial tension is at an all-time high. Right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So some people don't know whether you're being
serious
and
I don't I hate making jokes sometimes in front of people. You're not confident in about
Do you think that's secretly why Trump is so popular? Because
because he's atypical. He's atypical.
He's saying anything he
people
wants.
Who are
atypical
and in
this day and age, you're not allowed to say anything you want. It offends
not
people.
Saying Donald Trump is a stupid man, even though I feel like a lot of shit he says is very offensive. The society rewards stupidity. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times.
Mm-hmm. Look at Miley Cyrus.
You know what? America rewards stupidity.
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
Yes.
Firstly, Trump is probably the worst person ever right now, right? I just gotta put that out there. But like, but you know what?
I hate him.
As fucked up it is, like he's very entertaining. The same way as how Kanye is entertaining.
Exactly.
You know? But at the end of the day,
Kanye 2020.
Yeah, 2020. But like Trump, I don't know. Like he's very entertaining. I think that's why he's so popular with like certain crowds.
I think people are really, really sick of this political correctness, this tension in free speech.
But he won't win. He's entertaining, but he will. I don't think he will like thrive.
I don't know, man. I think we're looking at our new president, and it's kind of fucked.
God,
it's.
No way.
It's a scary reality.
The numbers for him, he's winning by margins of 40%. Like he's winning like 43% out of a lot of the states he's running. So if it's,
where are all these Bernie voters? You see
they're not there. They're not showing up.
They're not showing up.
They're not voting. I saw a picture on Facebook today that says Bernie never asked for money, and it has the most recorded people at his like speeches. I'm like, but where are all the votes?
Where are they when they're
Where are
voting?
the votes? There's the fucking votes, man. Like you guys like this guy and you think he's progressive, but you're not going out and voting.
That just goes to show that his crowd are the young people.
Yeah, because they. Mm-hmm. That was the last thing on their mind, you know.
Yeah. Like, I didn't get pussy tonight.
They hit the clown, you know. Yeah, burritos. Oh shit, the voting was.
They get stoned. Fuck, I'll take Trump.
Fuck.
But I feel like a lot of the older generation.
They have nothing else to do.
They got shit to do.
Yeah,
they're counting down the days to vote. You know?
I just can't wait to vote for Trump.
Oh man, I can't wait to go on Facebook and blast every Trump supporter. That's what they look forward to. A lot of older people I know, like I don't know. They just go. I don't know. Politics are shitty.
I feel like
stupid.
America would take so many years, like especially coming from the first black president. How progressive that.
Oh my god, we just took 2 steps
and
back.
Then, like coming back with Trump, like just when you thought we changed, we go again. Like we're
That's
here.
very true.
Let's reintroduce.
It's almost like America got over it.
Yeah.
It's almost like we don't want this.
Fuck
it's like
progression.
The
Fuck that.
and
yeah.
then, like, being like, fuck that.
You know what? But Obama
What?
claimed to be progression, and he claimed change, and it didn't turn out. You know, I was one of the hopeful people.
I was hopeful, but you have to keep in mind, you know, the guy is like walking around like surrounded by Republicans. And
I understand why. I do. So it's just my hope was.
But
strong
some shit, like remember we were talking about
my hope was strong
about
for the change.
guns. It's not the gun; it's the person behind the gun.
What are your stances on like the gun
control? I have a gun. I own a gun. I'm probably going to be a little bit of bias in my answer, but yeah, I like guns.
What gun do you own?
I have an AR-556.
No idea what that is. It sounds impressive.
It's like
it's a big dick.
Like the army, the military in America. They have their M16s. Their base model of rifles. That's what it is. So yeah, I own a gun.
What was your reasoning on getting that gun?
I wanted to go shooting. That's all I wanted.
It's a big hobby.
I didn't say I wanted it for protection. I didn't say I wanted to do anything bad for it. I just wanted to go shoot.
I love shooting in like the desert in Vegas.
I love shooting, and I'm pretty good. I'm getting really good at it. So it's like that's the reason why I don't want to harm people. I don't want to like think about somebody breaks in my house.
You want to protect yourself.
Yeah, I don't think about that. I don't. Okay. I'm like it's a possibility, but like.
Recreational tool.
Yeah, it's not like something I'm gonna like. I can't wait till somebody knocks on my door. I'm gonna go grab my gun. I've seen a lot of people who have that mentality. I'm like, you let these morons. I think there needs to be regulation. A lot of regulation. Tests, classes you need to sit in.
They try their best.
You know?
They try their best. They do their background checks.
No, but that's not the best.
It's really easy, isn't it?
It's very easy.
It is. Yeah, you
20
can
minutes I was in the gun store.
Check.
20 minutes I was in the gun store. They don't know who I am. Oh, cool. I don't have a record, but I could go batshit crazy and go tear up like any like population I see.
There needs to be regulation
with that gun.
I agree that there's
regulation. Regulations, classes you have to sit in, learn everything.
Same for having a family.
Yeah. Oh. Well, you shouldn't like. There's a lot of people getting pregnant now. Like from
there needs to be regulation.
I don't know.
There's overpopulation.
There's a lot of people here.
Raised by people who can't raise people.
I go like the other day. I go to Mikey.
Idiocracies.
There's a lot of people here, and he's like, "Yeah, I know. This is LA." Because coming from Vegas, dude. And
nobody's outside.
Nobody's outside.
Only on the strip.
Oh, you guys should go to India if you. That's like, oh my god.
Oh, I'd love to go to India.
I would honestly love to go to India, bro.
It looks like a blast.
Yeah.
They throw paint all over.
It
looks like a good time.
There's so many people there, like going.
I'm sure there's some gorgeous Indian women. There's
gorgeous women all over.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's some very exotic, Indian dances.
Ooh. I love Indian food, dude. I can't get enough.
Can you ride like an animal in India? Can you ride like an elephant or something?
You can do that in certain parts. Yeah,
I know Thailand's big on that.
Yeah. Thailand's big on it, but they drug a lot of the animals.
Really?
I didn't know.
I'm guilty of riding a drugged up animal. Like I definitely was involved. But
just that thought, man.
This is my confession, guys.
I've ridden
that thought.
PETA, beware.
Oh my! A drunk elephant? Why would you get that thing drunk?
Okay, so guys, I should tell you a story, and it's crazy, right?
Let's hear it.
All right, so I went to Thailand with me, my cousin, and my 2 cousins and my really good friend. And so there's 4 of us, and I guess like the majority of us wanted to go ride elephants and all that shit. So like they don't tell you obviously on the pamphlets that our animals are like pretty much like chained up and like treated in really bad conditions and stuff.
Yeah.
So you go there and you're kind of like seeing it and you're like, oh, this is kind of fucked up, but we're here now. I'm ready to
ride an elephant,
fuck it, ethics out the window.
So there's this popular place in Thailand. It's in a place called Khao Tao, which is one of the southern islands. And so how they control the animals, they pierce. So with the elephants, they pierce the elephant's ears and put like a stick through the ear, and then you have a guy that's carrying around the elephant and stuff, like he's leading it along and shit, right?
Oh, like with the open hole in his.
It's really bad conditions, and I definitely felt guilty, but when in Rome, guys. I was sitting on the elephant, I was like, oh, it's pretty shitty, right? But also fun at the same time, right? And so a week after, or I think it was like a week or a month after, the same place that we went to, the same resort, this is probably like the same elephant, right? There was a father and his stepdaughter. They went on the elephant, and this is the problem with like animal cruelty and obviously like forcing animals to do stuff like this, because you can't predict the mentality, especially of something like an elephant,
Oh yeah.
So the elephant must have just had enough, and you hear about it all the time and stuff. Pushed the dad off.
Woo!
And the stepdaughter.
Pop the molly, I'm sweating.
And he and I think the elephant actually, he crushed his the guy who would take him around and stuff.
What?
And I think he killed the dad as well, which is really fucked up.
While you were there?
No. What?
Oh.
Like, I read about this on the news, right?
Okay.
And I was like, wow. And
I was like, well, you had a wild weekend.
Lots of drugs. But it just goes to show like the effects of keeping an animal
I didn't know that.
Those confines,
It's funny how much we're ignorant about this shit. We
Right.
see the pictures.
Yeah.
Wow, I would love to ride an...
A tiger just killed a 13-year-old boy at the zoo, like... They have tigers that are ready to pounce and slice your ass open.
Yeah.
Like, in captivity, just
How do
looking.
you get killed at the zoo? If you get killed at the zoo, that was your, destiny.
You're probably sticking your hand down somewhere.
Yeah, but that was you have to be so stupid that
But
that
at the
was
same
way
time,
you were
why don't they
supposed to
prep
die.
for stupid people, at these parks? They need, stupid, proof things.
Sometimes they escape. Tricky animals. Sometimes it's rare, but it sometimes happens.
Wow.
I've seen videos in California of a bear escaping and it's running the streets.
That would be the worst. Because I heard they're deceptively fast and they're really good climbers.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen a picture of a shaved bear?
No.
Probably ugly.
Oh my god, it's
terrifying.
one of the most horrific things. Google search that right
do
now.
it
Everybody
right now.
listening, Google search shaved bear. Or I don't know.
That sounds literally what nightmares.
Naked bear, whatever you want to call it. Completely shaved bear.
porn.
Bear. It's one of the most scary. It's one of the most scary looking. It's like a.
Oh my god, it's like a jackal. That's what exactly what it looks like.
Like a wolf. Like a wolverine.
That's fucked, dude.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And you think they're all cuddly and cute, but no, you shave their hair and they're this
Why do they shave it?
hideous
It's like the
beast.
Antichrist. Like,
that looks scary. If like that thing was running,
that really looks like a demon.
Give up.
If I saw that and I never saw that picture before, I thought I saw an alien, and I need to fucking straight from hell alien, and I need to run.
Upwards. Yeah.
I hope you guys search this. This is well worth.
Yeah, it does
well worth looking into.
It looks like a Wolverine.
Everyone definitely needs to look into.
That's terrible.
To see a naked bear. That's the only thing you get from this podcast. I hope it's naked.
You learned one thing.
Yeah, fuck anything.
What a naked bear looks
Fuck
like.
the morality. Fuck anything intelligent that we said. Naked bears. That's it. You take that. But wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A naked bear.
What do you think about all these new animal species that are coming in, like a lion mixed with a tiger, like a liger, and then you get like a horse mixed with a zebra?
Well, it's fucked up, dude. Sometimes they breed like donkeys. Donkeys, they can't have sex and produce viable offsprings. They're sterile.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're sterile. So like, cause when they crossed with the, they're not supposed to procreate with, like a horse is not supposed to procreate with something else. I forgot what it was, but donkeys are sterile. They're only meant to do one thing, basically, just work.
Why are there so many of them then?
I don't know, dude.
How do they reproduce then?
Because I think in like several areas they're
but they're like
they have several other horses that
they're
mingle with everything.
They're all over.
But donkeys, some of them they're not viable. They can't produce a viable offspring. They'll come out like retarded. So
that's crazy.
It's actually really crazy. And donkeys don't have that big of a like life expectancy.
I think they got all drugged up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like,
to get the work
yeah.
done.
I think it's a mule. Sorry, not donkey. It's a mule.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Game changer.
Forget everything. Exactly. Yeah. So a mule.
Same thing.
A mule is sterile. Yeah. A mule is completely sterile and it can't reproduce or reproduce a viable offspring. So
those drugs are given to the
dude.
animals.
Yeah. No, I don't know why I said donkey. I don't know. It was a mule.
But again, same question. How do they reproduce?
I don't know, man. Horses have sex with other. I don't know what it's a horse and something else.
Oh wow,
but
that's gnarly.
Horses have a lot of sex and they produce a lot of offspring.
Think about all the different breed of dogs we have. We're sick. Yeah. Only to have a cuter animal, all these little breeds.
It's like say a cousin and a cousin and another cousin have sex. Their offspring is going to come out, disabled and everything, and probably won't be able to reproduce. Like it's it's tricky.
You can't messing with the gene pool.
Yeah, the gene pool is bad.
Chromosomes all over this show.
Oh man!
Dude, soon human chromosomes are going to get tooled with and played with, and our genetics are going to.
It's already happening. We play with our genetics every day.
Yeah, that's how superheroes are created.
Our bodies are itself.
A bunch of Spider-Mans are going to be running around in the future.
Yeah, our body itself.
That'd be fucking awesome. Hey, Bill, how's it going? Just spreading my webs.
So yeah, we replicate DNA.
Fist pump.
Dude, we change our DNA every day, whether we know it or not. So when we eat something, it could mutate our DNA. And then maybe cause cancer, or along the line, maybe cause cancer to the next generation, or to the next generation, or thousands of years from now.
City right now.
Yeah, so it's all like a collective. Yeah, dude. So there's these things in your body called free radicals, and they take an electron from other elements in your body, and they could take from your macronutrients. So if you have enough of these free radicals in you, like if you smoke, that's like all the radioactivity from smoking. Mm-hmm. It causes cancer, and free radicals are like they'll cause cancer. They leave your body in acidic environments. You produce more estrogen, and then thus causing cancer. So, in order to kind of subdue those, because free radicals are in everything: air, water, breathing in brake dust, like when you go outside, and antioxidants. Antioxidants stop free radicals from forming because they donate an electron that takes from your macronutrients or your DNA and your replication. So,
what was the role with estrogen? Did you say?
So what estrogen does, it promotes the growth of a lot of cells and replicates it. And so what cancer is, it's your cell it does not stop growing. It keeps on going and growing. So naturally, a cell is able to signal and tell the cell to stop living, called apoptosis. And apoptosis is programmed cell death. So what happens is a signal is blocked off, and then you keep growing and growing and growing and replicating tissue and forming own blood. there's some kids who come in with cancer and everything, and they have like a tumor in their head, and it's starting to grow hair in its own blood. It's very sick. Cancer is very sick, man. It's tough. But estrogen, it promotes an acidic environment. Testosterone it hinders that effect.
So, would it be correct to say the more estrogen you're generating, the more likelihood of cancer?
Yes.
So is
women?
Based on that theory, is cancer more popular with females?
Breast cancer. A lot of breast. Right. I think women are. I think might be women are more affected by breast cancer than any kind of cancer.
Right.
Or they're the most abundant. Yeah. So.
Do you guys ever believe that cancer will be
cured?
I don't know. The thing is, they've been saying that they've been curing cancer since the 70s. They're like, well, we have a clue.
I think there's a cure.
They're always close to something. Who knows? Like, I think
it's really hard to get things marketable and
Yeah, it's all about the money, dude.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money sometimes.
Conspiracy.
Ah, here we go. It's always me.
Shit.
It's always
you.
I'm always the one. And then I convince everybody in the room, they do have a cure. They do have the cure to cancer. They're just trying to market it.
So cynical, Mikey. Jesus Christ.
I do think they have a cure. I do.
I do. I think there might be. I think that they're starting. I just think it's probably not working well with the human body. They probably killed it with some kind of substance and have your cells stop growing. But who knows what that substance that they put in you is going to actually be.
Their cure for AIDS. Look at Magic Johnson. He's looking great. Looks in immaculate health.
I don't think he has it.
I don't. That's a conspiracy. He never had it. You were just paid to say he had it.
Dude. X-File theme song.
Yeah, we need a.
What's the recovery rate right now? Cancer?
We need a soundboard.
Oh, cancer has been it's the recovery rate and like getting rid of it has been higher than it's ever been in the.
Isn't it?
Really?
Am I correct in saying it's almost like 50-50? Or because I think I read that somewhere.
A lot of men are affected by prostate cancer and testicular cancer.
Right.
So if you find a testicular tumor that within the first few months or like the first you find it and you get it fast, 90% you get rid of cancer. You get rid of the cancer. It's by surgery.
Yeah, so, but if you catch cancer,
sometimes if you catch it early, you don't have to remove the testicle at all. Yeah. So
if you catch any cancer early,
a lot of cancer. Just people I don't want to really talk about the dead, but a friend of my mom's just died of cancer. She didn't know she had it. She didn't know she had it. She one day she woke up.
What's a sign?
She went into the shower. And then her legs just broke. Legs just broke, and she fell down. Go to the hospital. Cancer all over her body, and then she died later, 2 weeks later.
What is an early on sign?
Sometimes people don't notice, but if you keep getting, if you get
testicular cancer,
here's the thing. So here's the thing: if you get consistent blood work and you're healthy, you're up to date with your visits with your physician and stuff like that. They could pick it up in the blood, and if it's not palpated, if you're not worried about anything, if something doesn't hurt or
check your nuts.
But the thing
is
about testicular cancer is that the lump doesn't hurt. You just gotta feel down there. If there's a lump and it doesn't hurt,
take care of yourself.
You gotta go check it out. But most of the time, it's not really anything. You get a little ultrasound, that's about it. But you if it's eating away in your mind, it's so much better to go do it.
Got a lump,
this has got all the hypochondriacs just
Yeah.
jumping.
Yeah. I know I got a lump, guys.
I got a lump.
Show me yours. Whose is bigger?
I think it's better on the mind if you just go out and go get checked, and then that's it.
We need a soundboard the next episode for little things like conspiracy. Dun dun dun.
We should.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to make you guys scared or anything, but.
It's good information.
Your health is your number one priority.
Health is wealth.
Health is wealth, man. You want to see
wealth.
Eventually, you want to have a family and see your kids thrive. And you want to live through that. That's what you want to do, or you want to accomplish something great.
My mom's mom survived 3 different cancers.
Yeah,
really.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. She's the strongest woman I know, or the strongest person I know. Period.
I think it's because of her attitude.
Oh yeah, she's an incredibly positive person. I think it's because of
her attitude.
She has so many plants. You walk in, and there's flowers everywhere. She's really good at it.
She's a very positive person, and I can see why that affected her health.
I think, so what do you guys think
took care of her diet,
of mentality as in like a positive mind state and a negative mind state.
It's almost everything. I think it's almost everything.
It is everything.
But like,
your mind, look, I can tell you, and it's like a personal experience. I had a bad regurgitating burping problem after I get stomach surgeries pretty often, and my last one was in October for the viewers and whatever. I know most of you already know this, but after the most recent surgery, I was getting this. Everybody said I'm in immaculate health. The surgery was a success, but I kept burping and I couldn't control it. It was almost as if it was a tic from all that damage and all the mending that's been done to my stomach over the years. And it was the only thing that would like allow me to breathe at some points. I just kept burping and burping, and it was very uncomfortable. The only thing that helped, I took medication, I went to proper doctors and all that stuff. Nothing helped. I was going through this problem for months. The only thing that helped was hypnotherapy. And that's all to do with the mind. That's entirely the mind. That has nothing to do with...
Yeah, it's so weird. After you took that class, bro, you no longer complain about your burping. I don't really hear...
I still do it.
Burping,
it's still around, but it's subsided extremely.
Wow.
Extremely.
Hey, man, congrats.
And I can tell you right now, it has a lot to do with...
Because, dude,
where my mind was after the surgery and where my mind is now.
Yeah, you were at a low point mentally, before that. You were at a low point, you're like, I don't know what to do, I won't be fit enough to find work, and things like that. And then you really jumped ship and turned it around really well.
It wasn't necessarily just stress, though. It was the way you breathe, the way there was a lot of things that went in
physical aspects.
Yes. A lot of things that you had to be, aware of in order to change that. It's almost like I had to retrain my body. It became something my body was doing to feel comfortable because it was just always irritated during the recovery period, and it stuck. You know what I mean? After the recovery was over, I still had this tic, even though I didn't really need it anymore. Yeah. But my body was used to it. It was in my subconscious mind. My body was used to doing it. Yeah. So it's like relearning how to walk. Like you just had to.
Wow.
Yeah, we had to.
That's crazy.
We had
to
play with. We had to play with my subconscious. We had to,
Yeah.
But it's not.
You know what she did?
It's not like in the movies where you're put to sleep. And,
She turned off the plug to your Wi-Fi and plugged it back in.
You pretty much.
That's exactly what she did.
You go through a guided process of fixing the problem.
Oh yeah.
And you don't really know if you. The only way you can maybe have a change is if you believe it's going to work, and that's where the mind comes.
So did you go from a pessimistic mind state to a more optimistic mind state?
I was a little pessimistic, but not. I was optimistic enough to try. And trying is
Did you feel
back to what we were talking about? Trying is the first step at getting anywhere. Taking that first step.
And did you stay optimistic after the class? And
yes. Mm-hmm. As soon as I took the
first... What was it in that class? Did you believe it's possible?
I believed it was possible, yeah. Because we were speaking... You know what it was? It was a conversation I was having with her about how much she knew her shit. Right. You know what I mean? She had degrees on the board, and you only hear ideas of what hypnotherapy is. You don't know exactly. You think I've only seen the movies it's magic, but it's not anything like that really. You're not put to sleep. You're not getting turned into anything. You're just kind of very relaxed and guided through a process. But we were having a conversation, getting to know each other before sessions got started, and she was telling me a lot of what she knew about the subconscious mind, related to the conscious mind, and she knew her shit. She was saying things. I didn't have to believe her, no, but she was saying things that made sense.
Yeah.
They made sense. Yeah. There's who's driving your car, your conscious mind or your subconscious. Who's driving the body. Your conscious mind is only 10%. Mm-hmm. So who's really in control? Yeah. Is it your awareness? Is it what you're aware of, or is what you're aware of just temporary things?
She put things into perspective for you. And,
she did.
And that paid dividends into the recovery.
She made it clear that you can be aware of your subconscious. It just takes a lot. It's a choice and it's a process, but you can be conscious of what's going on in your subconscious, and I think it's a thing you need to learn how to do over time anyway.
Sure.
To get over any obstacle, it's something you're going to have to go through any change. Mm-hmm. It's something that your mind has to go through.
Your body hates change.
You know, so your mind has to change what's in your conscious mind and kind of like, this needs to get thrown away. This needs to get put in. That ex-girlfriend, throw that in the back. That new job, put that right here. New roommate, that can go here. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, do you think that we're just jumping, but do you think that you could be on good terms, like with an ex, like forever, and like genuinely
I have no problem.
Be on good terms, but like mutually.
I have no problem.
You think it's genuine between each other, or do you think there's still kind of some tear from the skin afterwards?
I have no problem with staying friends with an ex. I've only had one ex, but I did my best to try and stay friends. While on the other hand,
it's very hard to though. It's very very.
I
hard.
understand how deep it went and like what went on as well.
But like for someone, let's say somebody you've dated for such a long time, such as like a year, 2 years, 3 years, for them to become in your life and then not talk to you ever again, you think that's kind of cruel?
I think the dichotomy between like being so close to someone and like completely it's so big, isn't it? It's like how
to me
does that happen?
To me it's very foreign. It's very weird. I can't understand it because that's not who I am.
You spend every waking moment with them, you eat with them, you share their fluids with each other. It sounds kind of gross, but like
I appreciate that whole experience.
You sleep next to them, but then one day nothing, never again contact.
I can't understand.
That seems cruel to me. I can't do that. I can't waste people's emotions.
It's the only way you can go through that because like
a lot of people aren't strong enough to stay friends or
it's like I used to have tea with sugar, right? I used to have a lot of sugar in my tea. And then I tried to cut it down, like only have one sugar or only have a little bit of sugar. But then it's like I felt like the best way to do it is just to have no sugar at all. And I still have no sugar to this day. My point being, sometimes you have to completely isolate yourself from that distraction.
It's a good point, and I understand that. That's why I'm not angry at people who do this. But at the same time, that's not me. That's not me.
That's a good example, though, bro. That was a great example. That was very good. Wow. I mean, I find it cruel.
I don't have a
because
problem
I think
with
wasting somebody's time is so it's like
no, it's never a waste of time.
Somebody's time,
never a waste of
like
time.
I don't
Even
know.
if they cut you out, no, it's not. It's not. You both needed to.
How about
experience.
this?
There's so much growth that happens in any relationship.
All right, you're giving the growth, but wasting somebody's time purposely.
That's the worst. I feel like wasting someone's time, no matter whether it's in a romantic situation on a business level, friend. I feel like because time is the only thing you can't ever get.
Time.
Like,
you can't recycle.
Time is just going and it's going and it's like.
Do you believe they're purposely wasting your time? I think they just don't know the repercussions of their actions. I don't think people are purposely wasting a year on a relationship. I think they tried, you tried.
Or how about this? How about this? Some like you ask a girl out, like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And then they don't respond right away, like or they don't respond at all, and they waste your time. Like, okay,
why'd you give me your number?
Yeah, why'd you give me your number? Why were you flirting with me?
You know,
like,
guys can be really creepy.
Just say no. Just say no. I've encountered somebody recently who I said, "Hey, maybe we should like go out to dinner. I'm interested." And then like we've had like conversations on the phone. You know, I knew her like a few years ago, and I was like, you could always say no, because she didn't respond for like 2 days after I said, you want to go to dinner? I was like, you could always say no.
So you called her out. You're like,
I was like, you could always say no. And she goes, I don't know what to say. I was like,
yes or no.
and I said, okay, have a good night, because you wasted my time.
But did you waste your own time by pursuing it for that long?
You know, I think I was tricked, because we were on the phone and she was giving me a lot of clues to like, let's start. Let's start. She led me on and then like wasted my time. I was like, you could have just said no. Like
a lot of girls just like the game. A lot of girls just like the game.
There's some that love the attention, but you don't know what could have happened within that time.
Maybe she had another guy she really liked.
The worst thing is when they hit you up, and like, I'm sure you guys had like, hey, how's it going? And you're like, okay, hey. You messaged me. Like, what is it? I feel like that's time wasted to the core.
Yeah.
That happens a lot more than I wish it did.
Yeah, hey, what's up? Hey, how's it going? Good. Like, I can't stand those minimalists and conversations.
Girls get bored so easily now. Girls get bored so easily. If it's not a subject they want to hear.
Bored so easily
I get bored too.
I think everyone gets bored so easily.
Yeah, it's this generation.
Yeah.
Everyone's got like attention ADD.
Well, we could recycle everybody. That's why.
That's what makes dating so hard. You know.
Yeah, it's just with everything though. With music,
he made me bored on the date. He made me bored in the conversation. I'm gonna leave the conversation. I'm gonna text this new guy.
Yeah,
no, that's why divorce rates are all time high.
All time high.
Because it's like, if I don't like you, instead of trying to repair this situation, I'll just get a brand new TV. You know, I'll just get a brand new.
It's not that easy though. They think it's like that, but as soon as they go through divorce, they're like, oh shit, this is actually hell, and I actually don't have anyone better for me.
Yeah.
But like the divorce rate in America, especially,
is all. I think it's almost 50%.
It's almost 50%.
That's ridiculous, dude. Yeah.
I think it's a Vice documentary.
Dude, Vice is the shit.
So
Vice is amazing.
That's why I want a life companion, but I don't like. I'm fine with a wedding, but why this marriage certificate? Why this?
I don't know.
Paperwork.
It's a community
this
kind of
possibility
thing,
of divorce. You know, when you have someone that's supposed to be your right fit, your life companion, they shouldn't care about that. Like, I understand the wedding. That I told you. Know, that's the day.
Are we really supposed to have a significant other all the time?
Well, I don't think it's as males.
Yeah.
It's not in our natural instincts as a male human.
Yeah.
To be like with one person for the rest of your life. Like as crazy as that sounds, like when we were like through evolution, we're supposed to reproduce, move on to another, like try and reproduce.
I do think in this day and age, you understand that in order to have a family and in order to raise a family, because of how difficult that is alone in this day and age, be able to afford good housing for them, all that stuff, you need a companion. Yeah. You need a team.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's changed so much. Like, back in the day, we wasn't supposed to do that. But then, we wasn't supposed to eat wild meat and stuff. But, like, now it's like, you cook it, there's certain things.
And it's okay.
Society's changed, and change happens. I mean, been like billions of years for that change to happen. But what are your thoughts on it? Do you think
about
do you think males are supposed to be like
promiscuous or just like
promiscuous or like?
I do believe in finding your significant other. However, that's like such a game because you take this shot with somebody, and then who knows, it could get fucked up in a few years, and then you just like got half of your money taken from you, and then I think we're just we're supposed to be happy. Anybody's game is anybody's game. If you want to have 4 wives and you're happy with that, do that.
If you want to do
that, I don't think there should be a standard for anybody. A standard, hey, you should do this. Be a man and go get married. Walk around with a briefcase. Say goodbye, honey, when you leave for breakfast.
The problem is
that's too generic. I mean, that's too like. I don't. It's too. There's a stamp. There's a label on that.
Love comes with so much emotion that it's hard to stay aware of yourself because you're just so lost in love. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're just so lost, and that happens to both.
Yeah, that was kind of a vague statement. I didn't really answer your question too much, but it's baffling to me because I don't know like. Are we supposed to have like a set plan of what to do?
Well, the concept of marriage has been so instilled in us as a society that now it's like weird if you don't do it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's like it's become the norm, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like
I think
you
being a loner,
thinking like, okay, I'm gonna go to school and there's like a regiment. You go to school, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, you die. Like,
do you think
it's ridiculous that that's taught in all of us? And we all understand that there was that formula instilled in us, but at the same time, life isn't like that at all.
No.
And then when they jump into the real world and see that life isn't like that at all, people are all confused. They're like, but this is what I was told. Go to school, get a degree, get a job.
That's a beautiful accent. I want to highlight that accent. I feel like you should
the smart dumb college student.
But this is what
majoring in communication, wasting money to major in communication.
But this is what I was told I was supposed. But this is. No,
you sound like the typical like nutrition major, like UNLV.
But how is it supposed to be then, if not that way? Like,
there's no supposed to be.
There's
no supposed to be. You got duped. We got
duped, bro.
Yeah.
You got duped. You were told that there's ways that are supposed to be done. Yeah. But everyone's ideologies are different.
Yes, because everyone's
very individualistic.
We're basing it of what
my
works.
idea of right is different than your idea of right.
So true.
We're basing it off of what
my idea of success is different than your idea of success. We keep going about our topics are all about.
Unfortunately, we keep basing it on stuff that has worked for people in the past.
Right.
And that doesn't really transcend into the future.
No, not at all.
It just does not work.
And
because
our
it's a different
books
time.
are old.
Our books are so old.
Societies are evolving.
Yeah.
You know, like 50 years ago,
it doesn't apply
even
now.
with the older generation, divorce is almost like non-existent. It's just like something. It's like an anomaly if it happens for the older generation.
Man.
And like
my grandparents,
grandparents.
But
they don't
now,
divorce.
like society's evolving. There's much more individualism, like you were saying.
Back in the day, the first person you loved, you didn't think, oh, there's a possibility I'm going to run into somebody like this again. You just thought, oh, I found it. Because there was no social media. There was nothing that told us anything different. There was nothing that was telling us there's more.
I think my grandfather met my grandma within like 2 weeks. They got married.
Yeah,
but they're divorced now. But no, like that's a rare case. But they met each other for 2 weeks. Like they were 43 years. They were married.
My dad's parents are still married. They've been
I think my grandpa just like said,
married
"Fuck it, I
for
want
years and years and years." And
girl.
look, but the thing is, a lot's changed. My grandma, who is still married to my grandpa on my father's side, she was treated like shit. And a lot of women were back then.
Yeah, a lot of women
they were
shit.
used, they were abused, they were the housewife, they were the cooker, the cleaner, the support.
Nobody wants to do that, dude. That shit is dead.
So back then, the relationships lasted and they're still together to this day, but the love was a lot more unhealthy. There wasn't.
I think
there wasn't ever a balance.
I think everybody should.
One was an alpha male and one was, the passive, had to support.
People should learn just to take care of themselves in general. So it's like
that's the only way nowadays.
Take care of yourself.
In this day and age, the only way I see someone having
learn how to fucking cook,
successful relationship,
learn how to make a coffee.
Which is very hard. This is really, really hard to do because I've been through a relationship. But the only way I really see a success and happening for a long time is really, really instilling a way to always be able to put yourself first. I know that's weird because it's a little selfish to say, but you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else.
Sure.
And you have to be at peace with yourself before you can love anybody in a way that's peaceful.
You gotta love yourself to love anyone else.
Bravo.
There we go.
Bravo.
There we go.
There we go.
You do.
Yeah.
You do, and it's not easy because, like I said, eventually you kind of get lost in the thing called love, where you're meshed. You're no longer you, and she's no longer her. You're this thing, and you've never been this thing before, so you don't know how to be this thing. That doesn't work. That crumples. You need to love each other while still holding on to yourself and not losing that. Know what's you. Know what changes. Know how you grow. And it takes time. It takes experience. It takes probably multiple relationships nowadays to learn this.
Wow.
And one thing no one really touches on is people, because people always talk about falling in love and stuff, but no one talks about people who fall out of love. It eats the shit. You know what? That's a really good point. That
you got him riled up, dude.
Yeah.
No, nobody talks about it. Everybody's experienced it. Almost everyone I know walking around is still thinking about an ex-lover.
What do you think the reason
at one point or another during their day?
Because some people like fall out of love, not even like on a negative kind of like they just stop loving the person that they're with, and the spark that was once there is now just completely washed out, and it's so interesting how you could be in love with someone for so long and then for someone to fall out.
I don't know if I can believe that it just goes away. I think they kind of play a tough card.
Yeah. But some people, but also
I think they need to do it for themselves. Yeah. It's like, fuck him. I hate him. I don't love him anymore. It's like for themselves. Like it's like reassuring. No, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work.
But also like through the years, as people change, like we're not the same people we were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not the same person I was a year ago.
Exactly. So if let's say you fall in love with someone at age 25, right? And then by 45, 55, they're a completely different person. You're a completely different person, and you've not instead grown together, you've kind of grown apart.
Yeah.
So
have you ever, no, continue your point, but like, have you ever met like an old childhood friend that you guys, you were best friends and you haven't seen each other in a while?
Everyone has that friend. Everyone's been through it, I feel.
And then you go back and hang out with them and it's not as good as it was.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, because people grow apart. And the taste that you once had in people, and like even their taste, you kind of gone down different roads and stuff. You have different interests, different. common grounds. You know, it's a very strange thing though, because it's going back to the being so close and then being strangers.
Yeah.
Concept,
Oh
it?
yeah.
Somebody have you ever used to know?
Did you? This is
didn't have to cut
this is probably an American thing, but have you ever seen somebody you knew and walked past them without saying hi?
Oh, dude, we were just seeing a movie. It's such a beautiful day about, the opening scene where they pass each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I was going to say, but what actually came out was Sep. And then the guy turned at me, he goes, thanks. And then we both passed each other by thinking, am I ever going to see this person again? And we forgot about this interaction the next day.
It's crazy. I've had that a couple of times but it's like, you have this awkward kind of like, because you're aware of each other, you know who the other person is, but you're not that close where you can actually have a conversation now.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Do you believe that when you make eye contact with another person, you have met them?
Yeah. No, because you can make eye contact with somebody and have not shared any kind of information and like.
Yeah.
But is sharing information, meeting somebody?
Well, yeah. I mean, you get to know who they are and like.
What? Wait, repeat the question again.
Do you think you can meet someone through eye contact?
And know them?
No. Have you met the person by making eye contact with the person? Is the question.
No, I think you've seen them. I don't think you've met them. You haven't introduced yourselves or anything like. In that case, I could go like in the city of London and meet everyone.
Yeah, meet everybody. I feel like
the reason I asked this is because every
you're going off of like a connection. You're like, oh, we made eye contact. There's a connect. Like we made a connection.
Yeah, no matter
but you
what,
haven't met
contact
them. You haven't met them.
Is a powerful force. No matter what, you have connected. Yes, you've acknowledged each other's existence in that moment.
And you know what's the crazy thing about eye contact? The longer it goes on for, the more and obviously everyone must have gone through it. The longer it is, the more
intense it is.
Yeah, the more intense it is, but like the more your brain gets stimulated, like what the fuck is going on? Like why is this?
Because there's a lot happening.
Yeah,
you don't need words to tell you.
Have you ever?
A lot of things about a person.
I was telling this to Mikey, but have you ever encountered somebody and then you ask them a question and then they have to look off when they think?
Yeah.
Instead of keeping the eye contact, they have to look off. They have to look off.
It's very hard for people.
It's very weird because I don't think they could focus with somebody's eyes on them.
Right.
I don't know what that is.
They feel uncomfortable.
I think
there's an energy there. There's a level
like
of awareness that the other person is having about you, and that makes you feel uncomfortable because you're insecure.
I see this with smart people too. Like professors who just like you ask them a question, they're like, and they like look up or like they're unable to engage with like eye contact.
Because I read a lot into like body language and stuff, and it touches on like when someone's thinking, what direction they look it means something different, right?
What?
So I think like upwards is thinking from something that has happened, and this obviously isn't like
facts.
This isn't like to the T, like just because they're doing this, it's 100%. It's like, but for the most of it, it's pretty much going to be that, right? When they look up, they're referring to something that's happened and stuff. When they're looking down or to the right, often they're thinking of something that's either going to happen or something that they're perceiving to happen, right? And like knowing stuff like that, and obviously you can't just like evaluate that from someone doing that and be like, oh, you're 100% just thinking that, but like, and that's the whole premise of body language. Like nothing's like to the T all the time, but a lot of tells, such as what I just mentioned, they give away a lot. Now,
doesn't that say a lot about our subconscious?
Yeah, and the thing is, like,
going back to the point,
everyone can lie with them.
You're not aware of what you're doing when you're talking.
Do you think people look up sometimes when they're thinking to get help from like a higher power that they believe in?
I think they look into their brain.
Yeah. I think they look it's like you know.
Help me out.
I know you've experienced this. You know when you get that like front headache. Have you ever like tried to like push your skin back?
No, I've never tried to push my headache back. I've never tried to do that.
Like pulling your
whatever drugs you are on.
Like I want what Mikey's on.
Yeah, I want what Mikey's on right now. Oh my god.
No, I really do think people are like trying to like go to the back of their brain when they're thinking.
And I think that's what it comes down to. Like
how do I reach that point of my brain?
They're going to that cognitive state and they're looking at it like trying to get knowledge down. Whereas when you're looking down, you're like you're more like forward based, right? And I think that's what the psychology behind it is. But so next time you have people,
good save,
backward.
Next time you see people doing that, always have that in the back of your mind. It's very interesting. And so this,
how do you get to the back of your mind?
So
look up.
Yeah. So this book that I was reading, it was
look up.
This book that I was reading it was basically the guy who wrote it was an ex FBI interrogator. So he used that information to see who was lying and who was trying to think. Like, you know, it's very interesting.
And like how like a person.
Wow. The mic,
Mikey ripping the mic. Yeah, like how people they could breathe. You know, they breathe really rapidly, and you could tell that their face is getting red. They're probably lying, or they look off when somebody tells them, like, "Hey, did you do this?" And they really did do it, but they don't want to tell you. They're like, "Oh no, I didn't do that, man. I swear."
Yeah.
Like,
it's so easy to lie with your words, but it almost takes it's like 90% chance of unable to.
I don't know what you guys are hearing when I'm playing with the mic.
Probably dick. That's it.
Yeah, like body language. It has so many tells, you know, because there's so much shit going on at the same time. So, but it's interesting stuff.
I do believe your body says a lot.
You know? It does.
Oh, of course, it says more than your words.
Yeah.
All the time. Because there's so many. There's more.
I don't think words say much at all.
Yeah.
Words can hurt, bro. Words can hurt, but body language.
Sticks and stones.
No.
They break my bones.
Yeah.
But words.
Sometimes you get that somebody who their words resonate with you in a negative way or a positive way, and you're like, oh,
no,
man.
Words definitely affect you, but at the same time, words most of the time isn't what they're trying to say. It's like, yeah, you have what you're trying to say, right? That's the initial thought, and it could be a whole idea even, not even necessarily a sentence. It could be an idea. And then you're trying to translate that idea into one sentence or one paragraph and spew it out your mouth.
Spew it.
Without even thinking. You know? It's just happening in the moment.
Yeah.
You don't know what's getting said a lot of the time. You don't know how it's coming across.
Right.
You could, you know, it could be a cry for help. I think we were talking about this before. You know, a lot of the times people can sound happy and laughy. You know, look at Robin Williams. You know, that guy always sounded happy and full of life and a jokester. That guy was depressed and suicidal. You know, a lot of the things we put into words might sound one way, but it might really mean on the inside something completely different.
I agree.
Agreed, man.
Yeah. I mean, words are powerful, though, right? Like,
They are. They resonate.
Words have changed the world as we know it in many ways.
Words are
Do you
the
think
way we get shit done.
Yeah, I mean, like,
the wheel
I hate
the most
referring
gets the oil.
back to Donald Trump, but like, the words he said completely have a chance to cripple like what he's trying to go out to do. Maybe if he didn't open his mouth, who knows? But do you think that all the rest of the candidates are thinking the same thing? They probably are. They're just afraid to say it. A lot of them, like, which is a scary thing.
Afraid to say what?
Like Trump anything that's on their mind.
Oh. Well, you're not supposed to. You know, like when you say a speech, it's supposed to be formal. But the thing is, you're supposed to write it and present it.
But
and be professional.
I agree with that.
Not just, all right, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I feel like.
No, I agree with that.
Not how life
I'm definitely
works.
not a Trump supporter at all.
You don't go to a presentation
He's got no
for your
filter.
work.
Yeah.
All right, your boss comes up to you, I need a presentation next week. That's all they say. Right. That's all they say. I need a presentation next week. You say, what do you need? Come on, you know what needs to get done. I need a presentation next week. You come to the presentation and you go, all right, so politics. It's this, and this. Where's your PowerPoint? PowerPoint? Yeah. What? Fuck? You've never done a presentation before? You don't know what you're supposed to be doing? Oh no, I thought you just wanted me to like come up here. And talk.
Has the person
no, not the way
the person who came up there with a well-written speech, that's what we don't need. We don't need a robotic person who has just a speech written and only says stuff that you want to hear.
For history.
Yes, but look at it on another note.
How much gibberish has gotten shit?
How much bullshit has made the world worse, though?
That's my point.
Yeah.
Spewing shit is like spewing bullshit. Saying things without thinking is like spewing bullshit.
I'm saying the robotic aspect of a politician who recites what's on their piece of paper and has a whole bunch of like a group of marketers and who get like slide them a piece. This is what you should say tonight, by the way.
Like Dick Cheney.
Yeah,
with Bush.
Here, Mr. Rubio, can you please recite this today at your speech? I think the youth will like it, and maybe the colored individuals will like it as well. So like that's what we don't need. Even though Donald Trump is a jackass and like he has no like morality whatsoever. Like we need somebody who's like brash and like not a politician and who's so atypical of like the politics. We don't need that.
It sounds like we need Kanye West, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, Kanye 2020.
I'm just having fun with
it. You want to say the next part?
But yeah, no, I think it's important to also realize that no matter who gets nominated as president, they are going to be the robot for the
Isn't it ironic
campaigns.
that...
but do you think we'll ever see...
That when Trump was getting the limelight, Kanye wanted to steal it by announcing he's going to be president.
Yeah, we mentioned that in our first podcast.
Did we?
About that. Yeah, how Kanye is a like master manipulator of the media. So
he's admitted to, he's admitted that that's what he does.
I mean,
that's what he's good at.
Like, and people don't understand that.
Yeah, no, they don't, because he's nothing like his personas.
Yeah.
He's a mama's boy.
He's a marketing genius.
Yeah.
He knows how to play the media, and he does it so well.
There's a speech of him accepting a doctorate.
All right, another note. How's the music like scene right now in LA? Like, do you hop in and out of studios, like A&R people shit? Like, what do you?
Yeah, so like. There is a lot of studio sessions that I'm popping in and out of and stuff like that. And then obviously like you go to certain meetings at labels with A&Rs and
that's
like,
awesome, yeah.
But like, it's because this industry, as it is with most entertainment industries, it's a networking industry, so it's who you know a lot of more so than what you know. So you have to put yourself really out in those positions, hence why I'm out here physical, But I doubt you'll be surprised, because I'm sure you guys are fully aware of how much hot air there is in this industry, as there must be in the movie industry.
Yeah.
Like,
when I was getting my hair cut, there was just like a bunch of people complaining about rappers and like about the Kardashians and then Kanye West and like how they have such big heads and like. So
but you realize that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're complaining. Yeah. But that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, but that's
what's on their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
isn't that kind of ironic?
Yeah, it's so ironic.
Very ironic.
But yeah, like you get a lot of people that are saying and they'll do X, Y, and Z, but it's really about filtering.
Those are the people. Those are the reason why these people are big. Because they're talking smack all day long.
Yeah.
They're hating all day long rather than getting shit done themselves.
Oh, I hate that, Mikey. We should touch on how we was in, like, when you go to any kind of like supermarket and stuff and you see those magazines, we was talking about this last week.
Yes, we were.
And all it is just negativity.
Negativity.
It's like, oh my god, like
I remember you saw one. I remember exactly what the conversation
all negative.
was like. He saw a headline. He was like, "That might have been the worst thing I've ever seen." Sorry. I'll go fuck myself. I don't sound Irish.
Yeah, I'm not Irish, you dipshit.
But anyway, you're like, that's the worst headline I've ever seen. And I'm just like, you know what? I've seen something really bad where I saw a picture of Angelina Jolie once.
Yeah.
And it was just her pulling at her hair, really frustrated. It was a picture of her just pulling at her hair. And the captions they fucking decided to put on the cover in big yellow bold print was "suicide?" ?
I've seen
who thinks of this shit. Who's the asshole? Give me that picture. Hold on. Let me see that picture. Oh, she's pulling at her hair. She's obviously suicidal.
That's
who are the assholes who are buying that shit? I've
seen headlines really like they take a picture.
Who are the assholes who buy that magazine? Oh, I need to know if she's actually suicidal.
That's the reason why they're making those kind of headlines, is because people are buying into them, and it's like controversy sells. I get it, but it's like, I don't know
really
who I'm more
fucked
mad
up.
at, like the people who do
It's
the
really
headlines,
morally
or the people who
fucked up.
are entertaining that kind of shit.
Dude, yeah.
Where's your moral compass?
No, well, when it comes to your job and making
it's almost
money,
like as you age, the moral compass just more and more and more gets put on.
Yeah, like some people have no.
Look at adults; they're also jaded.
They don't have. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people just they don't have any boundaries when it comes to stepping on people's backs. Or like you shouldn't be stepping on people's backs.
It's for money.
Yeah, it's for money. Oh, money.
So I can get a raise.
So I could get that Lexus I could barely afford at the end of the month.
Like eventually money
yeah.
Eventually money is your way of life. It's the only way you can support
But that's
yourself.
a sad way of life. Just money, no happiness.
Support your family.
Money, no happiness.
Yeah. No, I know, but eventually it just becomes a thing you do and you throw your moral compass aside for it.
That's not a good life.
People who are paparazzi, they know they're fucking with people. They know, but that one picture that day could have made them $1,000. That one picture of Kanye West looking kind of silly walking out of
they take
the
pictures
gym.
of the celebrities at beaches and they circle in where they're like not as fit and they're like
See,
Rihanna.
that's the magazines again, though. So the publishing
Rihanna,
companies get the picture and they go, let's see how
and it says,
shitty we can
and
make
he said
it.
Rihanna fat.
Obesity,
yeah.
cholesterol, dying slowly. By now,
isn't that kind of going back to
it's
what
the
I was
marijuanas.
saying about, like, the movie industry in the 1950s, how they were supposed to be stars and perfection? It's almost like that. Even though it's changed, it's almost like that ideology hasn't changed. Stars are supposed to be perfect.
Yeah.
Stars are supposed to be hot body, hot mind, perfect relationship, perfect family.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed, even though the film industries don't push that on their stars anymore. It's kind of illegal.
But you know what was the biggest shock factor? It's I think it's coming from Britain, right? Mm-hmm. And just seeing what's other front magazines over there, and then see what other front magazines over here, like in the same.
Is it not the same?
Hell no, man.
Hell no, dude.
It'd be like magazines like, find out how to get healthy in 20 days, or like
we have those too.
And you have
the Cosmopolitan,
Yeah, and like. Granted,
20 ways to get your man back.
We still have our negative kind of like magazines.
Those are ridiculous.
But they're not like, suicide.
Yeah.
Like,
isn't it really funny that there's articles that are like 20 ways to make your man happy, written by a woman? It's like, how would she know?
Yeah.
I used to be a man.
She just knows one freak of a guy.
Don't read the Cosmopolitan for relationship advice.
Stick your finger up his ass. He'll love it.
No.
Just stick a carrot up there.
Yeah, it's like
we don't want
like
it. We don't want that.
Oh my god.
Have you guys ever read the advice they give on Cosmopolitan?
They're absurd. That's why I bring this up.
Like
it's so off. It can't be further from what we actually want.
Yeah, it's just insane, and it's like. Because I was with a friend and she had it, I was like, what is this? And I read
what is this dribble?
Yeah, I read the article and it was just like the weirdest stuff that I don't know any guy who would enjoy that.
No.
Like, it was like the fruitiest stuff, like pour Nutella into his asshole. Call him Jerry. And wear a basketball uniform. Like, what? Like, what's going on?
It's almost like you can hear the woman with the fantasies behind that writing. That likes 50 Shades of Grey.
She's living vicariously through that advice column. Like, she wants something.
Oh yeah.
That's just
I can't wait to call him Jerry tomorrow.
So whoever's dating this girl who's writing the advice columns, you know what to look at for your go-to instructional guide.
Imagine dating the girl that writes those things. Everybody knows what she wants out of her man, and he's just.
She's probably lonely. She probably has a cat.
Yeah, it's probably she probably isn't even in a relationship. People should look into that. People should see if the person who's writing these things are even in a relationship.
We should do that independently and like
start revealing them on the podcast. So Carol H. Peterson,
Carol, suicide. We get a picture of her hair like turning up.
Suicide, alone, cats, too many.
Something random, but
and that podcast just blow out. Like, right?
Not enough sit-ups. Oh, well.
I was talking with a girl the other day. And she was like, some names are ugly and they kind of diminish like the appealing, like being like appealing to somebody. So she was like, I was talking to a guy named Peter, and automatically when I heard his name, I just kind of got. I'm like, I'm not a rude person, I swear.
I know exactly.
And she was like, this guy's name is Peter, and I automatically got kind of unattracted to him. Like I liked him and everything, but. I hated saying Peter.
Like his second name file.
Is it because we're all with cultured parents?
Probably.
Parents from other countries.
I don't know.
I don't think a typical American
is that.
That's very shallow.
Yeah, like
I don't think a typical American is going, Peter, what the fuck?
He was in charge of that decision.
I encounter so many people
the same way.
that.
Like if
it's
I
terrible.
introduce myself as Michael, which is like my Hebrew name, people would give me that same "What the fuck are you?"
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
What do you mean? You mean Michael? You mean Mike?
Michael.
Hey, Michael. Nice to meet you. You're Dave. David.
Yeah, Charlie.
David. Charlie. Greg.
No, but that is very shallow. But I was thinking,
have you ever met
would you date a girl named Olga?
Have you ever met a Trent?
Olga.
Oh, my dad dated
I'll
an
just
Olga.
say it differently. Nah, there's not many ways you can flip Olga.
My dad dated an Olga.
That would be like the...
I don't
the
see
driving
anything.
factor.
Yeah,
I
split
like
up.
foreign names. I think they're cute. I like Olga. What's wrong with Olga? You don't like Olga?
You don't like Olga?
I don't know. My dad dated. My dad dated an Olga.
No, yeah.
Like a decided
If you like someone, you like someone. I don't think a name should make a difference. But like
no.
the thing, I listened to that. I was
Depends
like, wow.
on the name.
No, but like,
what if it's something like "Eat Dicks"?
ha Clinton Dix in the NFL. You know who that is?
Yeah, Clinton
ha
Dix.
Clinton Dix. That's funny. No, but I was
Who are you
thinking,
dating? I'm dating
I'm
Eat
like,
Dicks.
but most of those girls that like hang out with her, they have to think like that. So I'm like, wow, how many women think like that? Oh, he's got an ugly name. I can't even like date him. Or like guys, how do like?
I don't know if that's an actual thing.
I think the problem with that is people are so in search of perfection, right? And guys are guilty of this as well. And everyone has this idea of their perfect partner,
yeah,
right? And
of course.
they mentally build this
this luscious man or women.
He was so close, but he doesn't have.
He doesn't have that.
He doesn't have those Elvis sideburns. I always.
He doesn't have pecs. Oh my god!
And it's like
I've definitely been guilty.
This guy or girl could be the best person in your life.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Nice, but like the one thing deterring from you not going for him or her is such a shallow aspect.
Yeah, of course.
And we've all made this mistake. We all have.
Yeah.
And we all still do from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, physical attraction definitely has to be there for any kind of mate.
Yeah, Mikey was saying he really wants to be, like, sexually attracted to somebody to, like, really like them. But then I agree with that to an extent, because if you're not attracted to somebody in general,
it's just
you're not going to, there's no chemistry.
I know this might sound, look, everything we're talking about is shallow nature of human life, but it might be a little shallow, but
it's
if
the
I'm
truth.
not sexually attracted to you, I don't want to make love to you. It's very hard for me. Yeah, I know that.
There's several
really
branches of attraction.
I don't even mean.
You just need more alcohol at that point.
I don't even mean straight. Like, I'm not even saying straight. Like, this is what good looks is. I want that. I mean, like, you know, she doesn't even have to be the most sexiest woman or a sexy woman to begin. But I need to feel a sexual chemistry. There needs to be a sexual chemistry so that I'm like, okay, this can work.
Yeah, you know? I mean, I think that's fair.
This can work.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the relationship.
It is a big part of the relationship.
It's what makes the babies.
Guys, let me ask you an important question.
Yes.
Do you believe 8 out of 10 of relationships, from a guy's perspective, start with him thinking, I'm going to bang this girl?
Yes. Absolutely.
I'd put that number to
Absolutely.
9 out of 10.
Wait,
Absolutely.
is this a statistic you made up?
No. But like, I think it is. I feel like.
Where did you hear this?
I feel like everyone I've ever spoken to, like the driving force of them, like pursuing a female at first.
Yeah, of course.
Was being like, I need to
hit
have sexual
Well,
relations.
you know, the thing, people are like, oh, that's gross, but that's who we are as animals. That's like what we do, you know.
I think that's getting back to my point. Like if the initial contact leads you to think that, you know, leads you to think, oh, I gotta hit it. I think that's something that's kind of my point about sexual chemistry. It's like something in you said, you can have great sex with this person.
Yeah.
Something.
I think also the older you get, the less that becomes a driving factor.
This is the 18 and up part of the podcast. Please tune off if you're not 18.
Cover your ears, children.
I think this whole podcast has been 18 and up.
But like, I think as you get older, you like that becomes, although it's still like an important factor for any guy or girl, I think it becomes less important. But I think for our age range and like, you know, especially 18 and upwards, like, I think a lot of relationships start with the guy or girl being like, I think guys more than girls being like, yo,
I don't know, man. I think women are more horny than guys. I've always thought this.
Who are women are more horny than the guys?
They just hide it better.
Yeah.
I think they
have
just
more
hide it
control
better.
of it.
More control.
Oh, that control probably drives them crazy. Like drives them wild. Like that knowing that they control another guy just with that box.
They love it. Yeah, they love it.
Like I could send this guy
box.
through a loop.
Oh yeah,
I could send this guy.
and they have a blast with it.
Yeah,
I'm just having fun with it.
we sound so sexist, but it's all in it's reason it's in within well reasoned and it's comical. So
I disagree. I don't think we're being sexist at all.
No, I just like some girls think, oh, you only want me because of my vagina.
No.
Well, I mean, in order for the human race to survive, yes.
See, we're just getting deep with it. We're not getting
from evolution.
We're not being sexist about it. We're getting deep with the truth of what it's about. It's about making,
reproducing.
It's about reproducing.
We just want the human race to keep going on, guys. That's what it is.
We're just saviors. That's all it is, ladies.
Yeah,
that's a very big compliment.
Being the saviors of the world.
Yes,
dude. Yeah. And so,
I do think women are.
Have you ever like ran into any like cocky artists before, like in the studio?
All the time. It's a second. It's a second nature to run into a cocky artist.
Like in the music industry.
Yeah.
I've met cocky in what sense? Like
not confident, but really cocky. You know, very ignorant with the money. Money's out, probably bragging about like what they have right now from like an industry check that was their whole like bank account. So
you definitely get. I mean, okay, I guess it's always about what kind of music because different genres are obviously more popular about boasting and.
I don't want to like revert back to rap, but that's basic.
But it is because like who wants to hear a humble like rapper? There's gonna be no rapper who's like, just made a big savings bond, paying 5% interest. It's like, okay, that's cool. Like we've been so used to like growing up with the if you got it, just throw it in the throw it around and then think about the repercussions after. But on a, like a personal scale, I don't think I've met someone who was cocky in a way where like they done it so they belittled everyone in the room, let's say. But I've definitely met a few people in the industry that they put themselves on a pedestal. And kind of...
What genre?
Pop and urban.
Oh,
right?
man,
And so, but like, that all comes down, if you break it down psychologically, it all comes down to their own insecurities of why people belittle other people in those situations because they don't feel like... that they're of
Mikey, make sure you don't hit that chord.
I think you get that with any industry, I'm sure in the healthcare.
Of course, of course.
Are just
I've dealt with a lot of ego.
Tons of ego. But dude, that sounds so fun. Like like sitting on a studio session, like put that up one decibel. Like
put the decimal.
They're like, that sounds good.
I don't even work here. This is a cheese factory. Constantly in the studio.
Or like saving a producer who doesn't know how to produce anything. So I'm sure you've done that before.
You have to, when you're dealing with someone with ego, like a lot of actors I've directed had a lot of ego. Whenever you have to deal with them or give them a note or tell them something to change, they don't want to hear that. Obviously, people are that prideful. So you have to kind of stroke.
It's how you tell them.
You have to stroke the ego.
Stroke the ego.
Before you go on and say something. Of course. It's like, that was perfect, actually. You nailed it, but I just kind of want to see, because since you're so, intuitive, I want to see how you do it if you do it like this. And I'll be like, oh, okay, I could probably do that.
And that's it. And that's why I think, like, people skills is such an important
very,
skill base to have.
You need to know how to
talk to different ranges of people. And especially like being like aspiring doctor and stuff you're gonna meet people from all over. You can't just tell one person news that you're gonna tell another person.
I mean, different personalities are a thing. The way you approach people, some people might take it being offensive and some people might be like
telling someone they have cancer.
I mean, I think
how far are you into being a doctor? Or are you registered?
I had to still go through medical school. I'm still finishing up my bachelor. So I have about a year.
Okay.
I'd say like a year, and then I'm gonna start applying and like take this ugly test called the MCAT, and then
I heard about it. I've heard about that. And
my stepbrother's taking the MCAT right now.
The ugly test.
For the MCAT.
Heard it's hard.
It's very hard, and like the thought of the people like going through your file and be like, MCAT score, GPA, does he meet the requirements to be a doctor? If he doesn't, throw it out. Don't talk to him. You waste his money. That's how it is. It's prejudice. It's prejudice. For them to give you an interview, they have to be interested. So, like, but if you don't meet the requirements, they don't even give you an interview. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That must be so much pressure. Like,
it is pressure. It is pressure, but it's doable. And I've always wanted to do something that I couldn't see myself doing. So,
why is it that you want to be a doctor? Why is it?
It's because I thoroughly enjoy helping people.
That's great.
I thoroughly help.
That's what you hope. All
I like to.
Yeah. like no, I'm just trying to get a fucking check. Leave the hospital in his fucking role.
That's the next Einstein, right? The next Einstein
straight to the strip club. But that's great, man.
I love the thought of treating somebody from their pain. That makes me happy,
I literally, after you said that, I'm sorry. After you said straight to the strip club, I literally pictured one of my doctors in the strip club. After doing my surgery, just now straight to the strip club.
Straight up, take this.
Yes, there are some doctors who completely hate their job and they're just making money. Have
you ever heard stories of doctors who are on drugs?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I could probably mention this.
Oh, yeah, it's probably best not to.
Why?
But no, there was this. No, I can't mention it. I gotta keep that off.
I think that's great. Obviously, for the reason that you're doing it is because isn't that the whole premise of life?
It is the whole premise of life.
Person,
help
if you benefit, if you like.
Isn't that why you're doing your art? Isn't that why you're doing your music?
Even if you was like a loner all your life or whatever, but if you make a positive impact for someone else, even if it's just one person, I'd consider that a successful life because what else is there, because you're just making you're making society and a better place.
Yeah, exactly. I've always wanted to be a part of that. Just like a little, like at a micro level, just like help it. Ants, a few ants trying to carry something, even though they're very strong and they can carry things on their own. But a few ants trying to carry a big piece of crumb into this nest to make things better.
Right. I don't know about you guys. I'm sure you have, but there's been moments in my life where I got to see the impact I made on someone that was a very positive thing.
Reiterate. What did you say?
There's a few moments, but I guess the one that's the most obvious is in one of my acting classes. There's a project that you do called the self-portrait where it's a performance at the end of the semester that has a beginning, middle, and end to it. And one of my performances was something that I kind of designed as being on the whim, in the moment, and also something that I wanted to showcase what music does for me. So it turned into something pretty special. I used a song, it's called Aloha Keakua, I think by Nako Bear. It's also known as Medicine for the People. It just has a really, really strong, message about what humanity actually is, what nature actually is, the beauty in all things. And so it had a huge message, and I kind of, at some point in the middle of the performance, I just rip off the tape, and I just sang it. I sang it really deeply, and I just...
You sang it?
I sang it.
How are your vocals?
Shut up.
Album coming out soon.
Anyway, yeah. So I guess the point of that story is a girl in the classroom. It hit her.
Cried.
She cried.
Beautiful, man.
She cried and she came up to me after the class and said it really impacted her. That's just one example.
That's good.
This has happened several times in my life where I've, I'm not trying to brag. I don't even want to sound like this at all. But my point is that I'm sure we've all had at least one moment where we feel as though we've positively impacted somebody.
Yeah.
And I like how you just said, even that one moment makes your existence worth it.
Oh, definitely. So let me ask you guys this, right? And I've always been interested in this question. So do you believe people do good things for other people for a selfish reason to feel good about themselves or to
well, they always say the joy of the giver is greater than the joy of the receiver.
I don't believe you should be gaining I just did a favor for someone. Fuck yeah, good karma. I don't believe that. I think you should be doing it just out of the good of your heart.
Of course.
Even how corny that sounds, I think you should still be doing that. Definitely. give the if you have change in your pocket, you know, give the guy some fucking money on the street. Just
no, I definitely don't think about it in a selfish way. But is every
do you think subconsciously?
I think subconsciously,
even though obviously he's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
Like that kind of euphoria once you know you've made a good impact on someone, you feel good about it as well.
I think
right?
subconsciously every decision is a selfish decision. Not necessarily because not selfish the negative way we think about it. Like, you know, not.
See, I think you're keep on going, but I think you're getting confused self-interested in selfish. So keep on keep on going because self-interest and selfish are two different things. But continue on.
What's the difference?
Well, self-interest on a like just on an understanding basis, like self-interested is getting enough sleep so you could be rejuvenated in the morning, or like brushing your teeth so you don't like have your teeth fall out of your head. And selfish is like, I'm gonna go scam this guy, or I'm gonna go do this thing for myself and screw everybody else. See,
I don't think every selfish act is negative.
I agree with that. I agree.
That's my point. Like, yes, there is self-interest, but I also think there's selfishness that you kind of need, and I also think there's selfishness that does a lot of good for people. Yeah. Because he was selfish in that situation. Bobby now lives.
Give me
what's the definition of selfish? That you're
very hard.
You're only thinking about yourself, right?
Well,
it's hard.
Yeah, it is like you're thinking about yourself, but like to benefit you, then I would say that's self-interested. To like benefit you while you could be benefiting other people as well, I think that's selfish.
Here, I think when you're selfish to the point where it's causing a negative to another person, I think when you're selfish to a point where you've harmed another person, that's when it's bad. Yeah, but I don't necessarily think all selfish acts are bad acts.
Give some examples of.
I'm trying to like a selfish act.
A selfish act that's good.
Like throwing yourself in front of a bus to save a kid.
There you go.
On the road.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
But that isn't a selfish.
It is.
It's not.
It is.
Not, is it?
Yeah, you selfishly and jumped in front of the bus.
You want to just jump in, like you done it to save the kid.
You did it to save the kid. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it selfish.
But no, the whole point of being selfish is that you're doing it something for your own interest, right? Whereas that has no interest, like.
He's got a point.
Yeah, it's gonna have no positive.
Does it?
Because you're gonna die.
But does it?
But you do it.
Does it bring meaning? A lot more meaning than what you once thought was your life. You know, think about it this way. Maybe that guy who jumped in front of the bus to save the kid was very self-loathing and was like, "Fuck my life" a lot. You know, he just thought that a lot. You know, fuck my life. I don't like this. Fuck this. Fuck having to go to work.
Sound like a usual Monday.
Fuck that. fuck the fact that I lost my bike. Fuck this shit. Yeah. And then you see this moment, and you don't think twice. It's your moment. You know, it's just like, okay, I'm gonna jump and save this kid. You know,
but like I can't really put positive outlets from.
Yeah, because that's not benefiting you.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, is it benefiting you? Because then you die and you jumped in front for the kid. It's kind of benefiting you.
You die in grace.
Yeah, but like, do you still have grace?
But do you have grace when you're having those thoughts that you were just talking about? Like, oh, fuck.
I honestly think that that's very instinctual, jumping in front of the bus for the kid. I don't think you're thinking about it too much, but I do think it is a selfish choice.
I'm sure there are positive, selfish, other different examples, but I just can't think.
It's hard because it's such a negative.
I think a lot of words have been deemed like
they've been deemed negative when it's not necessarily the case. I don't think people really understand what selfish.
Yeah, they misinterpret a lot of things. So
I feel like we have to really quickly Google the
definition of selfish.
Okay, let's see what it says.
What if
I guarantee you it's not a negative definition.
No, I guarantee it is because they probably deemed it negative as well.
I don't think so.
It all goes back down to perception. Okay, right. So it says here on Google, it says selfish, adjective, just in case. Of a person, action, or motive lacking considerations for others.
Okay, then
concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure.
So it is negative.
The example, I joined them for selfish reasons.
That can't be a correct definition, though.
I don't know.
I
think you're thinking about self-interest.
Maybe you're right. Maybe what we're all thinking. Maybe then I guess selfish is the negative and self-interest is the positive. I guess that's the yin to the yang.
On that example of the guy jumping in front of the...
Was he being self-interested?
Yeah,
No, he wasn't.
So what was he doing?
I mean, like
he was being courageous.
He was being very nice, but...
He was being instinctual, maybe.
But, that goes down to fight or flight. So a lot of people wouldn't jump in front of that bus for the kid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of people would. Because it's like, you have that fight and flight thing where it's almost like you stay and like when you're confronted with some like danger.
Yeah,
or you're like, oh fuck this, I'm getting out.
You always think you're gonna do this when you're like confronted with danger, but like sometimes that's not always the case.
There's movies that play on this.
Like
you remember in The Dark Knight that scene in The Dark Knight where there's prisoners with the button, there's people with the button. See, now we were totally before the scene started thinking the prisoners are gonna, so, we were totally all had that idea. Oh, they're gonna press it. They got it. Yeah. And so did the Joker. The Joker was like, this is human beings. They're gonna chaos.
That's really good. I like your accents today.
Your accents go from Irish to the Joker.
Hello, this is Vandalism. Hello. But no, that movie had a really cool message.
And then Devo came in.
I think most of the time we do think they are going to go for the bad. They are going to go for the give up on the person. But maybe not. Maybe there is a lot more of a silver lining than we give people the credit for.
Right.
Maybe because we're so used to hearing only negative on the news, only negative in the media, only negative this, only negative that. We really believe that that's the way people are.
Do you believe we're negative beings? Do you believe,
you know what? I had this talk with my dad.
Or do you believe that it's how... Do you think it's nature or nurture for...
I had this talk with my dad once, and he's very religious, so it's
I would have to say the most of it would come from nurture, but given that the nature is such an environment that influences the nurture, then and vice versa, then I would have to say nurture, because I think a lot of things are taught and learned. A lot of things. Even though a lot of things can't be taught, but still, if it's not taught, you could just learn it from other people's actions.
My dad's really mystical and, spiritual, and he's very religious. He's Jewish.
Yeah.
We've had a really deep talk about this, and his ideology was this. He thinks human nature is bad, negative, hurtful.
Sure.
And he thinks the goodness in us is above us. You have to tap into the above.
How about the nature is the goodness? Just think about this. The nature is just land, flowers growing, the sun shining, and then the nurture. The humans come in and put factories, and they put cars, pollution. Then I feel like nature is the positive.
Well,
but
put it that way.
And also Mother Nature, though.
Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Mother Nature.
So let's say, instead of saying God, let's say Mother Nature, right? It's saying, my dad's belief is tapping into Mother Nature is what makes you good, not your human
Mother Nature will take your ass out quick.
Yeah, exactly. So, based on what you're just saying, you get a lot of natural disasters based off Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Is that a positive? I guess I think that ultimately everything has a yin and a yang. Everything has a pro and a con. There's so many pros and cons of human beings and animals and even nature. But I feel like going back to the question, are we negative beings? Are we programmed?
Well, think about it this way: there are, you do naturally kind of have weird, bad qualities. All of us, sometimes you get jealous.
Yeah,
and you don't know why you got jealous.
Oh yeah.
But is that like a cultural thing though?
I don't think so.
I
think that's a human thing.
Yeah. What if we put 10 human beings on an island?
Oh
yeah.
And it's in the middle of nowhere. And they had food and what would be the outcome of that? And there's no society there as is. They are just raised to kind of be whatever they become. What do you think the results of that would be?
What, they have endless food, they can do whatever they want.
Do you think they'll thrive, or do you think they'll self-destruct and kill
I think it will be repetitive, just like human nature has always done. I think it would there would be murder, there will be lies, there will be breakups, there will be all that. like in an environment, because then there's greed, there's all that. I think humans are humans, and I think that we're kind of savages.
Is the positive side
savages.
of human life natural to us, or do we learn that? Do we tap into that? Is that spiritual? Is that in our hearts? Is that who we are as human beings? I guess that's the question, because it almost feels as if the negative has taken over.
I think
the dark side.
I think. Okay, so
it's almost easier. It's like what we were talking about before. The right thing to do is usually harder, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you have the good and the bad on either shoulder. The bad way is usually the easier way. It's the more convenient. It's the way that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
You know what?
It is that way.
And okay, I think
that the good way is so hard, and we have to push ourselves beyond ourselves.
Yeah. I think even why we're here right now and why we're all in this room having this conversation, making this podcast, when you break it down, humans are survivalists.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and we're designed to survive by all means.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when we're confronted with that danger of potentially being casted away or being taken out of the food chain, we'll do anything to survive, and that's why we've thrived as humans, and that's why we are what we are. And I think obviously surviving, you have to do a lot more negative stuff than you have to do a lot of positive stuff, right? You might need to kill the alpha male, you might need to do there's certain things going back from the ages,
just to survive,
millions of years
and
ago.
what does your life mean in this grand scheme of things?
It's because that's
all going back to selfishness.
That is what everything is. It's all a survivalist.
I need to be here.
So if that's the core of human beings, do you think someone would jump in front of that bus for that kid?
Well, of course. I think there's plenty.
I think once it goes down to it,
there's plenty of articles you can read of someone who's done that.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying people don't do that, but I think that's where.
You're saying who would do? Would it be more not doing than doing?
Yeah, than doing. Yeah, and then we'll really see.
It's almost like what we were talking about experiments.
Yeah.
Remember, we were talking about this, the experiment of the people who press the buzzer shocking people.
Right.
Remember this?
Yeah.
You've seen this?
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the name of it.
Well, I think it was a famous.
It was a famous one.
A famous one that was I think it was at UCLA. It could have been. I'm not sure.
I know the experiment. I don't know the name. But the experiment was essential. There were two experiments.
It didn't really shock the other guy though. It just if they would click the button or not. So humans are cruel. Humans are cruel.
I'll explain what the experiment was. There were two experiments. The first experiment was done on one particular person, and the rest were actors. So there was a doctor, a patient that's supposed to be getting shocked if he doesn't answer the questions correctly, and then the person administering the shocks. So every person that was tested in the experiment was just the person administering the shocks. So the doctor would just say, "Oh, he got that question wrong. On to the next shock." And, it would just get higher and higher in voltage. And at some point, I'd say in the middle of the higher up in voltage, the guy on the other side who's an actor is going, "Oh, I got heart problems. This hurts. I can't do this. I need to get out of here." And the doctor's like, "Don't pay attention. On to the next test." This is supposed to be a doctor, a professional. Yeah. Now, at this point, almost everyone's like, "This is wrong." You can see it in their face. You can see it in the way they're looking,
Yeah, because that's where empathy should come in.
Yeah. They're thinking this is wrong. But, I think, I don't remember exactly how many, but a majority for sure continued administering the shocks. Now, they did the test again, except this time there was a person next to them doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And this person was also an actor administering shocks. But this person, when his patient said, "I can't handle this anymore," got up and said, "Fuck this, I'm not doing this experiment anymore." And the people were then following. It became a lot more, it became a lot more it became the majority of people.
They do the reverse to that, where the actor would press the button and to see if the real person.
They've done that. That's close. It's a collective of people who do something. That's the biggest fallacy of them all. If a lot of people do it, then it's right. It has to be right.
Yeah, social diffusion.
Yeah.
If the authoritative figure says do it, you have to listen.
That's how Hitler existed. That's how all these
that
tyrannical...
was the big test, because the authoritative figure in the test was the doctor.
Yeah.
Someone had to stand up to the authority.
Yeah.
And when they saw someone stand up to the authority, knowing what was the actual right thing to do, they followed.
Yeah.
they follow.
And I think naturally human beings tend to be like the majority of them followers and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I just want to touch real quickly on something called social diffusion, and we see it in today's society all the time, right? And they done a test where, so they had like, it was like a really metropolitan city, and it was like a busy area, and they had an actor go like walk into like the middle of like a very touristy area and just pass out, and it has about 5 or 6 actors around that person who just collapsed, and they were told not to react to the person who just fainted.
Really?
And just keep walking and just like just keep moving, and to see who would help, you know? Mm-hmm. And what they found was that they found the majority of people around that area, actually a lot of people, when the actor wouldn't do anything to help the person who just fainted, the people around them wouldn't also do anything, because like social diffusion, you know, like they're seeing people in the social environment that
see other people aren't giving a shit, so that must be the right thing to do.
Yeah, so they're like, and like even if they know it's not the right thing to do, because there's so many people around that area, the social diffusion part is that, I'll leave it, but that guy over there will take care of it.
Someone will take
it. And that's what it is, because you're diffusing your responsibility to help another person.
Actually,
because there's so many people around.
I've actually done this before.
It's crazy.
I've been a part of this before.
And so they done the reverse experiment of that, where they allowed someone to faint in like a really rural area where there's only a couple people around, and always that one person or the 2 people will jump to the aid of that person who collapsed. Because it's like, they can't diffuse it now, because like, I'm the only person who can help. And
you know what, that makes sense.
Very interesting.
Because I've been in a situation where I've helped.
Yeah.
I've been in a situation where I didn't because of social diffusion.
Yeah.
I've been in the situation I helped was I saw a car accident. I immediately pulled over. It was just me and my friend in the car. We both thought, of course.
Yeah.
Got out, helped, right? I was also in a situation where I was just getting gas in a gas station, and the gas station was packed full of people getting gas, and right across the street, there's some dude just getting beaten up.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about the other day,
really?
There's just some dude getting beaten up by a gangbanger. It's like, I didn't do anything. I got back in my car and I left.
Right.
I did. Be honest. I fucked up.
And,
you know.
And you know,
but I also kind of thought someone's going to take care of this.
Right.
This is in public, you know.
It's like, someone take care of it. Mm-hmm. And you know what? And homeless people face that a lot. And that's why so many people just brisk past homeless people. Because
someone's going to pay.
Someone's going to help you out. And I think it's
someone with the money.
Once you're aware of that whole social diffusion thing, like it allows you to be like, maybe someone won't help them out.
Yeah.
So you got to take responsibility of certain things as well.
That makes sense.
It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Makes a lot of sense.
All right, gentlemen, we have to cut this. I know, dude. This is our longest recorded podcast
How long is it?
so far. It is 2 hours and 19 minutes.
Beautiful.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean,
I think it's our best.
For the sake of the attention span, it's a fantastic episode. Mm-hmm. We should cut it right now.
All right, dummies.
All right, y'all.
Thank you very much.
Stay naked.
Thank you for listening.